to The Blotcha Show. My name is Chris. I'm your host, and you are listening to this week's episode of Storytime Friday.
The Fight Within, Part 1. Jared and Seth had known each other since they were kids. They had lived within a half mile from each other's houses out in the country. There were only a few houses that were anywhere near them, and a few houses were in that area were all surrounded by dirt roads and cornfields. At Jared's house, his parents had a riding grasshopper lawnmower, and taking care of the lawn every week during the spring and summer was Jared's job. Before his parents got the grasshopper riding lawnmower, all they had was one of the average push-behind mowers, and so the lawn getting mowed easily took him 4 or 5 hours. When they got the riding lawnmower, it cut that time by at least half. So instead of 4 hours, he was usually able to get it done in about 2. He actually found himself having a little bit of a good time and enjoying himself while he was out mowing the grass. Sometimes this would get him into a bind though, because he would be so in the zone while he was mowing that he would forget to make sure the gas tank was good. More times than he could recall, he would be way out in the furthest part of the lawn, and suddenly the mower would sputter and shut down. What? He'd say to himself before looking at the gas gauge and realizing it was on empty. Crap, he'd say to himself. He'd then have to walk the 50 yards back to the house, grab the gas can, and hopefully it would have gas in it already. Otherwise, he'd have to run into town to get some gas just so he could come back and continue working on his chore. This would usually be about a 50-50 chance that there would be gas, mainly because he didn't always remember to either run into town after putting gas in the mower or telling his parents about it so they could do it whenever they went into town the next time. Thankfully, this time, the gas can had just been filled recently, so he didn't have to run into town to take care of it. And the only issue now was the long walk all the way back to where the mower was sitting at the far side of the lawn, all while carrying a heavy metal container of gas. After filling up the mower, he would set the can on the back of the mower, get the mower started, and drive back to the garage so he could put the gas can back inside. Then he'd head back out to the area of the lawn that he was working on and could, pick up where he left off. After finishing the lawn, he parked it back into the garage and made sure to top the gas tank back off again. The gas container was still about halfway full, so Jared figured it would still be good for at least one more lawn mowing session, if not 2. He grabbed the broom and swept off the sidewalk around the house since it was completely covered with grass. And then after putting everything away, he closed the garage and went back inside the house and down to his bedroom. When they moved into their house, Jared was about 10 years old, and initially his room had been on the second story of the house. But as the years passed, his older brothers Robert and Thomas had graduated, gotten married, and moved away. So Jared switched from having a room upstairs to having his room in the basement. Initially, when they moved into the house, the basement was basically set up with one room on one side of the basement and one room on the other. There was one large area on one side of the stairs that they had set up like an extra family room with a TV and a futon. And then another area on the other side of the stairs that basically was like a home office. It had the family's desktop computer. The back of the basement was basically an area with a cement floor, and they had an extra fridge and freezer in there. After Jared had been living in the basement room for about 2 years, his dad started doing some renovations to the basement. He wasn't sure what the overall plan was at first because his dad hadn't really said anything about what he was doing. However, as his dad got each little part of the overall project done, Jared realized his dad was turning that area in the back of the basement closest to Jared's room into an extra bathroom with a shower. When it was completed, he was loving it because he was able to come out of his room and go right into his bathroom instead of having to go upstairs. He also loved being able to shower down there. The nearest shower aside from the new bathroom was all the way on the top floor of the house. He loved it down there. Whenever he felt like he just had to be alone, he would just go downstairs and lounge in the futon while watching something on TV. They had a Dalmatian named Lucy, and so whenever Jared would go downstairs to hang out by himself, he'd usually bring Lucy with him. Lucy, come here, girl, he'd say. Lucy would quickly follow him down the stairs. Jared would get comfortable in the futon and then pat the area right beside him, and Lucy would eagerly jump up and lay down next to him. Good girl, he would say as he gently patted her. After living in the basement for the past 2 years, Jared had always felt like he either had a very active imagination or that he would dream stuff. Not long after he moved downstairs, his parents started taking random trips to a town about 300 miles away because his dad was a retired military service member, and they would make the drive so they could hit the commissary on base so that they could get groceries at a much cheaper cost. They'd ask Jared if he wanted to go or stay home, and he'd always opt just to stay home and hold down the fort by himself. It didn't happen right away. It didn't even happen the first half dozen or so times that they left him home alone. One weekend when they had just left earlier that day and he was going to be alone that night, and then until the following evening before his parents would get back, he thought he heard noises upstairs. He was watching a rerun of a TV series that he normally watched, but it was not the normal day that it usually aired. As he watched it, he thought he heard a few footsteps upstairs. He muted the TV and listened. He looked up towards the door at the top of the stairs, half expecting to see light coming under the door as if someone was upstairs and turned the lights on. However, when he looked up there, the crack under the door was still dark as though the lights, which Jared had turned off after he had made sure the house was locked up, which was also just before he had made his way downstairs to chill for a bit before heading to bed. He thought to himself, I must be tired. I'm imagining stuff. As he unmuted the TV and continued to watch the show. Then 15 minutes later, he heard a thump upstairs like something fell. It made him jump, and at first he tried to tell himself that he imagined that too. The only issue was Lucy jumped up too. Oh, you heard that too, huh, girl? He said, scratching her ear. Lucy licked his hands and then focused her attention back up at the door again. Jared thought about it for a minute or two. They both heard the noise, and he was telling himself, technically, I should go check it out and see what that is, or what that was. But I really don't want to. He took a few steps towards the stairs, and there was another loud thump followed by what sounded like something being dragged across the floor. Jared jumped back a step, and then he felt his heart skip a beat. Shit, I really don't want to go up there, he thought to himself. Hello? Mom? Dad? Are you home? He called up the stairs. Silence. So he slowly started creeping his way upstairs. After tiptoeing a few stairs, he shook his head and thought to himself, why the hell am I tiptoeing? So he quickly walked the rest of the way up the stairs. He stopped at the top step just shy of the door and listened for a minute or two. He didn't hear any other sounds, so he opened the door to the main floor of the house and rapidly started turning on all the lights. He didn't notice it at first because he was so focused on lighting up the entire area. He could never explain why, but anytime he was a bit scared, spooked, or freaked out, his first instinct was to turn on every light he could. Everything lit up, all bright, with no dark areas for anyone or anything to hide. This always made him feel a little bit less on edge. Walking back into the kitchen, he stopped and looked around. What the hell? He said as he noticed that things were out of place. A few of the kitchen chairs were pulled out from the table. One of them was all the way across the room, and another one of them was on the far side of the kitchen, tipped over, laying on the ground. Immediately, when he saw this, he got goosebumps and felt a chill go down his spine. He put all the chairs back where they were supposed to be, made sure the house was locked up, and decided to leave the lights out upstairs when he went back downstairs. He didn't know exactly what had done that upstairs, and he tried not to think about it. Just thinking too much about it, he found himself getting chills down his spine and freaking out too much. So whenever his parents would go out of town, he'd leave the lights on upstairs when he'd retire to the basement, and he'd just do his best to tune out and ignore any sounds he heard. One weekend, a buddy named Hank that he went to school with asked if he could stay the night. Jared was like, sure. My parents are out of town, so we could watch a movie, make some popcorn, and just chill. Hank was like, "That sounds awesome, bro. I'll see you later, a little bit later on tonight." That night, they watched a horror flick upstairs, while munching on a huge bowl of popcorn and drinking a few sodas before they decided to head downstairs to wind down. Hank was going to crash on the futon out in the main area of the basement while Jared would be in his room. Jared had a laptop computer in his room that he would usually go online before bed and chat with his long distance girlfriend for an hour or so. He was listening to music and chatting when he heard a knock at his door. Hank? Jared said. Hank opened the door. "What's up, man?" Jared said. Hank looked pale like he had just seen a ghost. "Man, can I sleep on your floor?" Sure, but why? What's up?" Jared said. "Bro, I think I'm losing it. I'm hearing noises upstairs. Footsteps, thumping. I think I'm imagining it, but it's freaking me the hell out." "That's funny you say that. I gotta tell you something, bro. Grab your pillow and blanket. Come on in," Jared said. Hank grabbed his stuff and got comfortable on the floor not far from where Jared's computer was. Jared grabbed a couple more pillows and handed them to Hank. "Thanks, bro," Hank said as he settled in on the big pile of pillows. "Okay," Jared began. "So, when we first moved into this house years ago, my room was upstairs. My parents go out of town to a military base in Nebraska so they can get groceries from the commissary. Usually I end up home alone for the weekend. Nothing ever happened as long as there was someone present on the main floor and second floor of the house. But when I moved down here, anytime my parents go out of town and I'm home alone, I always hear things upstairs." "What? Are you serious, man?" Hank said. "Yeah, man. But something else that's interesting is when it first happened, I went upstairs and chairs were moved. One of them was laying on the floor across the room. Freaked me the hell out." "Wow, man," Hank said. Jared laughed. "Yeah, man, so there's the funny thing. Or so here's this funny thing, though. After it happened the first time, I started just pretending that everything was normal whenever I'd be hanging out downstairs. I started to tell myself it was all in my head. I told myself it wasn't real." Hank coughed and then chuckled uncomfortably. Bro, I didn't imagine it. I seriously heard stuff upstairs. I'm kind of freaking out." "Relax, man," Jared said. "You can crash in here with me tonight. We'll be okay. I'll be honest, having you stay the night with me kind of makes me feel a little bit less on edge compared to how I usually feel when my parents are out of town." "I'm not going to lie," Hank said. "I feel a little bit better being in here with you than I did out there on the futon alone when I was hearing the noises upstairs." "How do you deal with it?" Jared laughed. "Honestly, bro, like I said, I just pretend that I'm not really hearing anything up there. If I focus on it too much, it would drive me insane. That first night that I told you about, I was freaked the hell out. At one point, I was trying to tell myself that I wasn't really hearing stuff upstairs. And then I heard a loud thud. It made me jump off the futon. I at first told myself that I wasn't hearing stuff. But then I looked over and I saw that Lucy had jumped up and was staring intently at the door at the top of the stairs. I was like, "Oh, you saw that too, huh, girl?" Hank looked over at Lucy, who was just laying on Jared's waterbed. "She heard it too, huh?" "Yeah, she did." That's when I knew that whatever I was hearing wasn't in my head. That's when I went upstairs to check it out and see what I could find. "Damn, man," Hank said. "So when you went upstairs, did you see anything aside from all the chairs out of place and the one that was laying on the floor?" "Nope," Jared said. "That's all I saw. From all the noise I heard, I would have thought I would have noticed something else." "Didn't you say you also heard footsteps?" Hank said. "Yeah, I did, but I didn't see anything else up there. Kind of freaky, huh?" "Hell yeah, it is. What do you think is going on?" Hank said. "Honestly, man, I have no idea. I've wondered if the house is haunted, like maybe somebody died here, but then I thought I wouldn't think so. The house was built by the previous owners and nobody died here, so I don't know. I don't understand why the things are happening." "Why didn't you say anything when I asked to stay the night?" Hank said. "Honestly, man," Jared said, shaking his head, "I had just started to tell myself that it wasn't real. I started just trying to not listen to the noises and pretend that I wasn't hearing what I was hearing. I guess I started to make myself believe that, to actually believe that until you came in my room and told me that you were hearing stuff upstairs. I guess it kind of snapped me out of it." Later that year, Jared and all his friends were getting ready for homecoming in their senior year. One of his friends thought it would be really cool to go check out this location in the middle of the night, but that was also supposedly haunted. They wanted to take Jared's car. He had been driving a 1965 Ford Galaxy 500 LTD, and although Jared had had his reservations, he also wanted to fit in with his friends, so he agreed. Him and 5 of his friends loaded into his car and they took off towards the area of town that the restaurant was located in. Like Jared's house, the restaurant was out in the country, so it was pretty isolated. The restaurant they were going to was pretty popular. Jared had been there a few times with his parents. Throughout the years, it was set up in what appeared to be an old 2-story house with an attic and a basement. People were served gourmet meals on the main floor and in the basement. The attic served as a bar where customers were served quite a few specialty drinks. The restaurant's hours were pretty limited. It was open for lunch between the hours of 11 and 2:30, and then reopened again for dinner between 4 and 8 at night. The bar was open from 5 to 8:30 at night. There were always rumors about the restaurant being haunted, but there was never any solid evidence to support the rumors. It was mostly just talk. As Jared and his friends left his house in his Ford Galaxy, and Jared glanced over his shoulder at his friends. "So you really think we're going to see anything?" he said. Brandy, one of his female friends, replied with a laugh. "Haven't you heard? This restaurant's supposed to be one of the most haunted places in the whole town." "Oh, all right," Jerry said. "I'm just curious because I've never heard about it, and my parents and I have actually been there probably about a half dozen times. The food is pretty amazing." Brandy laughed. "Yeah, the food is pretty good. The restaurant is pretty nice. I've never experienced anything myself, but I've heard quite a few things about the restaurant. Guess we'll see when we get there." A few miles away, Jared glanced over his shoulder and said, "Okay, y'all get ready. We're going to be there in a few minutes." One of his friends pulled out their digital camera. "Should I start recording?" His friend said. "Go for it. 2 miles out," Jared said. His friend hit record. The last mile of the drive, as they approached the restaurant, it was pitch black outside. There were absolutely no streetlights whatsoever. As they came up to where the restaurant was, they passed a sign that said the restaurant's name. "Here we go. Y'all ready?" Jared said. "Let's do it," Brandy said. As they approached the building, they entered into the parking lot. As Jared entered the parking lot, he turned towards the building to pull into a space. As soon as the headlights lit up the front of the building, there was a window that had the blinds that had been completely raised up. As soon as the headlights illuminated the window, the blinds dropped completely and the window was covered. They could all see them still swaying back and forth right after they fell. "Holy shit, did you see that?" Brandy said. "What the hell was that?" Jared said. "That window was completely uncovered when we first pulled in. When your headlights hit it, those blinds fell," Brandy said. The rest of the car talked amongst themselves. They all just sat there for a few minutes. Jared got out of the car. "What the hell are you doing, Jared?" Brandy said. "What do you mean, what am I doing?" "I'm going to check it out," Jared said. "Are you nuts? Didn't you just see what just happened? Get back in the car. Let's get the hell out of here," Brandy said. "Just relax. I'll be fine," Jared said, as he closed the door and started walking towards the restaurant. He took a few steps and he thought he saw something move off to his right. He stopped to shine his flashlight over that area, but didn't see anything. After a minute or so of standing there shining his light off in the darkness, he continued walking slowly towards the restaurant. As he got within a few feet of the building, suddenly the blinds were rapidly pulled up and there were 2 red glowing eyes staring at him through the window. Jared's heart skipped a beat. He started to turn around to run away, but he tripped and fell on his face in the gravel. Picking himself back up, he quickly ran back to his car. "What happened?" Brandy said as she saw Jared get back in the car, hyperventilating. "Shit, didn't you see that?" Jared said. "No, we just saw you walk up to the building and then fall down and run back. We didn't see anything else." "What? You didn't see the red eyes in the window?" "No, we just saw you fall down and run back. I thought the blinds were still down," Brandy said. She looked back to the window and the blinds were, of course, back down. Jared sighed and took a few breaths to slow his heart rate back down. "Seriously, you really didn't see that?" Brady looked in the backseat. "What about you guys? Did any of you see that?" They shook their heads. "We didn't see anything," they said. "I'm telling you, man," Brady said. All we saw was you walk up and then fall down and run back. We didn't see anything happen with the blinds. Are you sure you're okay?" "What do you mean?" Jared said. I'm just saying, you saw something we didn't see, and we were watching it the whole time, Brady said. I know what I saw. I'm not crazy. Something happened out there, Jared said. Okay, man. Okay, chill. We believe you, Brady said. Why don't we get out of here? This is just all a bit too weird. Don't have to tell me twice, Jared said. He put the car in drive, and they sped away out of the parking lot. Brady dropped Jared back off at home, but before she and the rest of their friends left, she walked him up to his front door. You sure you're okay? Brady said. I'm fine. Don't worry, Brady. Okay, well, just try to get some rest, man. We worry about you. Why worry? I told you I'm fine, Jared said. We worry because you saw something back there that the rest of us didn't see. Whatever it was, it appeared to have strongly affected you. Jared sighed. Y'all really didn't see that back there? Were you watching the window at all? Randy thought for a moment. Actually, no, not really. We were just watching you walk up. I guess we really hadn't been paying attention to the window. I guess the blinds could have come up without us noticing. I didn't even think about that. When you told us what happened, we just noticed that when we looked back in the window, the blinds were down like they were before. I'm telling you, Brandy, the blinds came up. Okay, I believe you. And what was it you saw again when they came up? All I saw were two red glowing eyes staring out at me. It happened quick. When I first saw them, my heart skipped a beat. I tried to turn around to run. That's when I tripped and fell on my face in the gravel. Okay, man, alright, just breathe. I believe you. I'll get some rest. We'll catch up later. I'm going to go take our friends back to drop them off at my place so they can grab their cars and head home. I'll see you later, okay, Jared? Okay, Brady, sounds good. Wait. Hold on a second. What? Brady said. Where's the camera? Weren't we recording? You know what? Just a second. Brady says she ran back to the car and brought the camera back over. She powered it back on. When did we start recording? Jared asked. Brady said. We started when we were about a half mile out. We didn't want to miss anything. They powered the camera on, brought up the recent video, and then hit the fast forward button. On the screen, you could see the road in front of the car illuminated by their headlights. Then they watched as the image on the screen showed them entering the parking lot. A minute later, it showed them park and the headlights illuminate the window that initially had the blinds raised. Clear as day, they watched as the second the headlights illuminated the window, the blinds dropped. They could even see in the window as the blinds swayed back and forth. Holy crap, Brady said. I didn't realize we got that in video. Just wait, let's see if it caught anything else. They kept watching. A minute or so later, on the recording, they watched as Jared got out of the car and started walking slowly up to the building. Okay, now, don't look at me, look at the window, Jared said. As they watched, they saw Jared get closer and they then saw the blinds suddenly raise all the way up really rapidly. Clear as day on the screen, they both saw the red glowing eyes looking out from behind the glass. Holy crap, Brady said. Now do you believe me? Jared said. I'm sorry, man. Hold on. Hey guys, come here, she hollered over the car. Their friends got out and came over. They replayed the video for them and they all gasped. What? I totally didn't see that when we were there, one of them said. Neither did I, another one said. Now you guys believe me? I told you, Jared said. I'm sorry, bro, one of their friends said. We should have believed you. It's all good, Jared said. I'm just glad y'all saw it too. It kind of felt like maybe I imagined it. What do you think we should do? Brady said. I think we should see if maybe we could investigate inside the restaurant sometime. Do you think that'll be possible? One of their friends asked. Maybe. What do you think, Jared? Brady said. I think it's worth a shot. I think I could get the contact information for the owners. I'll reach out to them over the weekend, and I'll let y'all know Monday when we see each other at school. That sounds great. Okay, so we're heading out. We'll catch you later, Brady said, as she and the rest of their friends headed back to the car and drove off. The next morning, when Jared woke up, he looked up the phone number for the restaurant and dialed the number. You've reached the Route 1 Family Diner. My name is Penelope. How can I help you? Hey, Penelope. My name is Jared. How are you this morning? Why, hello, Jared. I'm doing well. How can I help you today? Well, Penelope, I have what you will probably think will be a fairly odd question. Oh, okay. What can I do for you? Penelope said. Well, ma'am, do you know if the owners of the restaurant would be willing to let me and a couple of my friends visit the restaurant after business hours and do a bit of investigating? Investigating? Let me guess. You and your friends want to investigate because of the rumors about the restaurant being haunted. Jared swallowed and hesitated. Oh, yes, ma'am. Do you think that might be possible? There was probably about 30 seconds of silence on the phone. Ma'am, are you still there? Jared said. Yes, sir, I'm still here. Let me talk to them and see what they say. Would you give me about an hour or so? Absolutely, Penelope. I'll call back in a little bit. Thank you. Of course, Penelope said before disconnecting the call. Jared waited till early afternoon and then dialed the restaurant's number again. Thank you for calling the Route 1 Family Diner. This is Penelope. How can I help you? Hey, Penelope, this is Jared. We spoke earlier? Oh, hey, Jared. So I spoke with the owners. They said they are fine with you and your friends coming to look around after hours. Oh, cool, Jared said. Are they okay with us taking pictures and recording some videos? Absolutely, Penelope said. Their main concern was for the safety of the restaurant, so they said their only condition was that nothing get damaged while you and your friends are doing your investigation. That sounds great, Penelope. Can we plan for next Saturday? My friends and I will be off from school for the weekend, and at what time will the restaurant be closed that day? The Route 1 Family Diner closes at 8 p.m. You and your friends would be welcome to come by anytime after that. Let me know whenever you want to come by, sometime during the week, and I will give you a key. The owners said they can even set up a temporary code for the alarm so that y'all can get in without setting off the alarm. They do request that whatever evidence you and your friends find with your photos and videos that you share it with them as well. Really? Jared said. Why do they want us to share whatever we find with them? Well, Jared, they've owned the restaurant for a while, and a lot of us have heard all the rumors about the restaurant being haunted. Some of us even have stories about things that they've supposedly experienced. I'll admit, I myself have never experienced anything here, but I don't work too late. The owners aren't here. The owners also aren't here too late. We have a handful of staff that work a bit later, and they take care of all the closing duties. Oh, Jared said. Yeah, Penelope said. A few of them, usually the ones that have been here really late, have said that some weird stuff has happened that they can't explain. Weird stuff like what? Jared said. Weird stuff like when they go to lock everything up, they had already straightened out the dining room. All the chairs are pushed in, and when they went and locked the door, they came back to the dining room and all the chairs were stacked on top of the tables. Holy crap, Jared said. That would freak me the hell out. Oh, from what I heard, they were pretty freaked out, Penelope said. We've had quite a few night people leave. The turnover has been pretty high, especially for people that have been closing at night. Quite a few would experience something one time, and then the next morning we would have a voicemail from them basically saying they quit. Wow, Jared said, that's crazy. But we will definitely share whatever we find with the owners. Thank you so much. Of course, Penelope said. By the way, why did y'all want to come investigate? Did you and your friends experience anything here? Well, ma'am, we had heard rumors about the restaurant being haunted. And so the other day we decided to take a drive out here late one night. When we pulled in the restaurant, as soon as my headlights hit the front of the window, or the front of the building, a window that had the blinds raised all the way up, the blinds were quickly lowered. It freaked us out. And then I got out and I was walking up to the building, and when I was a few feet away, the blinds rose up again, and I saw two red glowing eyes looking at me. Really? Penelope said. Yes, ma'am. I turned to run away, and I tripped and fell on my face in the dirt. My friends didn't even see it initially. They were just watching me, and so all they saw was me walking up to the building and then me turning to run away and falling on my face. Oh, wow, Penelope said. Yes, ma'am, but when we got back to my place, we realized that we had been recording the whole time, so we got the whole thing on video. Seriously? Can I see it? Penelope said. I actually don't have it on me, but I can bring it when I meet up with you to get the keys and show it to you then. That would be great, Jared. Thank you. Well, I have to get back to work. When do you want to come by to get the keys and the temporary code? I'll come back Friday afternoon after we get out of school. Will that work? Yep, that'll be fine. I'll let the owners know. See you then. Sounds great. Thank you, Penelope. We really appreciate it. Not a problem, Jared. I'm definitely looking forward to hearing about what all of you find, Penelope said before disconnecting the call. Monday morning, when Jared got to school, he could not wait to update his friends about what he and Penelope talked about, and to talk about what their plans would be the following weekend. As they worked their way through their school week, they were all very excited about the upcoming weekend. I can't wait. This is going to be so cool, Brady said. Yeah, I can't wait to actually get some hard evidence about what is going on in that restaurant, one of their friends said. Do you think we will find anything concrete? Another friend said. Well, guys, y'all saw the glowing eyes in the video recording, right? Jared said. He's right, y'all. We all saw it, but I think we'll get some more think we'll get some more info. We may not learn everything there is to learn about the restaurant as far as paranormal activity goes, but I believe we will still come out of there with some solid proof about the paranormal activity that is going on inside the restaurant, Brady said. Throughout the week, they would meet up at lunch, and Jared would bring his notebook and pen, and they would try to plan out what they were going to how they were going to go about their investigation. Okay, guys, Jared said, what are we going to do? Have any of you done anything like this before? You mean paranormal investigation? Brady said. Jared nodded. Brady continued. I haven't. What about you? Like, what about you guys? She looked at the rest of their friends and nobody said anything. Okay, so I guess that's a no. None of us have ever done anything like this. Okay, Jerry said. So, I think we definitely need to have audio and video recording of every single thing that we do. There's 5 of us, so I think it would be a good idea for nobody to be left alone. I'm still getting chills whenever I think about those red glowing eyes. The idea of anyone being in there alone scares the crap out of me. We split up in 2 groups, you 3 and 1, and me and Brady will be the other. Does that sound okay to all of you? Sounds fine to me, Brady said. What about you guys? Sounds cool to us too. I definitely like the idea of nobody being in there alone. I'm not big on scary stuff, so the idea of going into a location that we know for a fact is haunted or whatever kind of scares the living hell out of me. Honestly, I would rather not go, but at the same time, I don't want y'all to go in there alone, so I'm in. Yep, I'm in too. I got your back, guys, another one of the friends said. Okay, Jared said. So we all need to have video and audio going at all times. And I have a bunch of radios I could bring from home so we could all stay in contact with each other. I wish we had video equipment that we could set up in different areas of the restaurant so we could record without us being present. Yeah, Brady said, that would be pretty awesome, but unfortunately we don't have that kind of equipment. All we can do is have our personal cameras on us, as well as our phones recording, and that way, between all 5 of us, hopefully we don't miss anything. Yeah, you're right, Jared said. Okay, everyone, I'm going to be meeting up with Penelope on Friday to get the keys and the temporary alarm code from the owner. And then we are all good to go on Saturday. Friday afternoon, Jared pulled into the parking lot of the Route 1 diner, and a young blonde-haired lady came out to meet him. You must be Jared, she said. I am indeed. Are you Penelope? Yes, sir. Follow me. I will give you a quick tour of the restaurant. Is it safe? Don't be silly, Penelope said. We're still open and we've never had anything happen. 1, whenever we still have customers in the building, and 2, we've never had anything happen whenever it's still light up. Whenever people have experienced stuff have been when it's late at night and it's dark. Not too surprising, Jared said. All the paranormal stuff I've ever heard of have almost always been when it's dark. I don't understand why. Yeah, me either, Penelope said. Maybe that's just when spirits or ghosts or whatever you want to call them, maybe that's just when they decide to be active or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, me either. I've always wondered, Jared said. Anyway, Penelope said as they walked into what appeared to be an office. She grabbed a set of keys off the desk and handed them to Jared. These are the keys and this, she said as she walked to the other side of the room and picked up a small piece of paper and handed it to Jared. This is the temporary alarm code that the owners have set up for you. They'll activate it when we close tomorrow. Weekend hours are a bit shorter than during the weekdays, so tomorrow we will be closed by 6:30. They only open from 11 a.m. to 6:30 Saturdays and Sundays, and then back to full hours during the week. You and your friends will be free to come in and do your thing anytime after 6:30. That sounds great, Penelope. Thank you. You're very welcome. Don't forget, the owners want a copy of any evidence you and your friends uncover while you're here. Of course, I'm just curious about something. What's that? Penelope said. Well, Jared said, how long have they been the owners of the restaurant? Are they the only ones that ever owned the restaurant? Well, no. There were 2 other owners before them. The restaurant has been in this area for 40 years, and the first owners were here for 9 years, and then one of them passed, and the other owners sold the place. Then the next owners were here for about 25 years, and then they put the place up for sale, and the current owners bought it. They had always heard the rumors and have even known people to experience odd things here, but they have never gotten any solid evidence. So they are very interested to hear about whatever you and your friends find. Well, we will do our best. I can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this, Jared said. No problem at all. Why don't we plan to get together again after you guys get out of school on Monday, and you can let us know about how your investigation went. That sounds great. Thank you, Jared said. Saturday afternoon at 6:45, Jared and his friends were pulling into the restaurant parking lot. All the guests had already left, and all the employees had already gotten everything locked up and had left. Damn, they got out of here quick, Jared said. What do you mean? Brady said. They close at 6:30. It's 6:45, and it's already like a ghost town here. Jared said. Oh wow, yeah, that is quick. Okay, guys, grab the gear. Let's head in and get set up. I'm just glad we're not getting here when it's already dark. Remember, y'all, trust your gut. If you feel anything too heavy, bad feeling or whatever, radio to the rest of us and we'll regroup. Let's be safe, y'all, Jared said. They made their way in and established a sort of base camp in the office, where Jared met up with Penelope. Jared handed out the radios. Okay, y'all, me and Brandy are going to be Team 1. You guys will be Team 2. Sounds good, man, one of their friends said. Team 2 headed up to the attic to start investigating, and Brandy and Jared headed to the basement. The restaurant building was pretty massive, and so they had to make their way all the way to the other side of the building to access the stairs to head down to the basement. As they were almost down there, the radio went off. Hey guys, come in. This is team 1. Come in, over. Jared grabbed the radio and responded, What's up, Team 1? Are you okay? Hey man, when we were coming up the stairs to the attic, we heard a loud growl and it got really cold up here. What should we do, over? Well, are y'all okay? Do you want to abort and meet up back up at base? No. We should be okay. We'll let you know if we have any more issues. Okay, sounds good, Team 2. Be safe. Brandy and I are about to head into the basement. Be careful, Team 1. We will. You as well, Team 2. Jared Brandy started to head down the stairs into the basement. Holy crap, did it just get cold? Jared said. Yeah, it did. Really cold. I'm definitely not liking this. I've got a bad feeling. Do you want to go back? Jared said. No. Let's see what we find. Okay, Jared said as they continued to make their way down to the basement. When they got down to the basement, they were amazed by how big the whole area was. Jared handed Brandy a flashlight. Here, you go over on that side, I'll go over here. Are you sure that's a good idea? I thought we were not going to be splitting up. It'll be fine, Brandy. We're going to be within shouting distance of each other. Okay, you're right, Brandy said, as she took the flashlight and turned to head to the other side of the basement. Wait up, Jared said. Pull up your camera and start recording. I'll do the same. Oh, okay, Brandy said as she pulled out her phone and hit record. As she was off on the eastern side of the basement, it got colder. But other than that, she wasn't experiencing anything else. Everything okay over there? She hollered off into the darkness in the direction of where Jared was. Brandy could see a small light off in the distance, which she assumed was Jared's flashlight. Yeah, I'm good, Jared said. There's not much over here. Holy crap, it just got really cold. Yeah, it did over here too. Do you see anything? Brandy said. No, not really. Everything pretty much looks like... Jared trailed off. Jared? Everything okay? She suddenly heard Jared scream. Oh my god, what the hell is that? No, help! Oh my god, Brandy, it's coming for... And Jared's voice trailed off. Brandy took off running in that direction as she yelled for him. Jared, are you okay? Where are you? When she got to the other side of the basement where she last seen Jared's light, she noticed that there was a kind of slimy substance on the floor and the walls. What the hell is that? She said to herself. Jared, hello? But there was no reply. He was just gone. What happened to him? Where'd he go? Suddenly she found herself shivering in fright. She was terrified. She saw something on the floor and she went over to see what it was. It was Jared's flashlight, his phone, and his radio. She picked them up. Team 1, code red, come in, she screamed to the radio. Team 1 here, Brandy. What's up? What's wrong? Jared's gone. I repeat, Jared's gone. Hold on. What do you mean Jared's gone? Brandy screamed in the radio. I mean, he's freaking gone. Meet me back at base. We need to regroup and figure out what we're gonna do. Copy that, Brandy. On our way. Brandy made her way up to the stairs, and as she started to head up, it got colder. Halfway up the stairs, she thought she heard something very faint behind her. Help me! She thought she heard. She stopped and shined her light down the stairs. Jared? She could have sworn she heard a very faint voice. Don't go! But it was so faint that she thought she might have imagined it. But then she thought she heard a growl coming from the base of the stairs. She took off running for the top of the stairs. In the office, the rest of the gang met up, and they were able to access Jared's phone. It was still recording. Brandy hit stop and then brought up the video and backed it up to where she and Jared were talking back and forth from opposite ends of the basement. On the video, just when Jared screamed out, on the video they clearly saw something in the darkness rush at Jared just before his phone and flashlight fell onto the floor. Then they could see as Brandy had picked up the phone and descended the stairs. As they fast forwarded through the video, they hit play again when Brandy had gotten halfway up the stairs. As they watched the replay, they thought they heard something. What was that? Go back, their friend said. She backed up a few seconds and turned the volume up. Help, don't go, they heard very faintly. Holy shit. I know, right? Brandy said. Hold on, maybe it picked up what I heard next. Then on the video, you could see a shadow at the basement of the stairs and a low but very clear growl. Then it showed Brandy sprint from the top of the stairs. What do you think happened to Jared? One of the friends said. I have no idea, but you heard it on the video. Somehow, I think he's still here somewhere. I think he needs our help. I don't think we'll be able to figure anything else out here tonight. Let's grab our stuff and get out of here. Otherwise, I think whatever happened to Jared might happen to us. We need to regroup. You're right, Brandy. Let's go. They packed up their stuff and ran for the front door. Thankfully, Jared had left the keys and temporary code in the office. They were able to lock up. On their way out, Brandy yelled back behind her, Jared, we'll get you out. Be strong. We'll find you. We promise. Setting the alarm, they closed and locked the door to the restaurant. Jared had left his keys in his car, so Brandy and their friends took his car and sped off. They would be of no use to Jared without a plan. For now, they would all go home, get some rest, then regroup and figure out what they were going to do. They would figure out what happened to Jared and get him back. It was not a matter of if they would, but a matter of how they would. They would figure it out. For now, they had to make sure that they were safe so they could figure out what their next move was. For now, that was all they could do. But soon, they would have a plan and would come back to figure out what happened. They would be coming back for Jared to rescue him and bring him back. Part 2. Jared woke up suddenly, looked around, and had no idea where he was. The last thing he remembered was doing a paranormal investigation in the Route 1 family diner with Brandy and a couple of their friends. They had divided up into 2 teams. The 2 other friends that had come with him were Team 1, and Brandy and Jared were Team 2. Team 1 had headed up to the attic to begin their part of the investigation, and Jared and Brandy had headed to the basement to begin theirs. Jared remembered being in the basement with Brandy. He remembered them splitting up and going to opposite ends of the basement to investigate and see what they could find. They hadn't been apart for too long before something had happened. But what was it? What happened? Jared remembered most of the main details, but he was extremely confused. He could not remember what had happened last, and he was also confused because as he lay on the ground looking around, he did not recognize his surroundings. How could I be in the basement of the restaurant one minute and then waking up somewhere else? He thought to himself. This just doesn't make any sense. Hello? Brandy, he called out, but didn't get any reply. Hell, he wasn't even sure he was in the same building. He was inside some kind of building, but he didn't it didn't look anything like what the inside of the restaurant looked like. It still kind of looked like a basement, although the restaurant basement was actually used for customers, so it had really nice carpet installed. But where he was currently at, though, it was a cold cement floor. It seemed to go on forever, too. He looked all around him, and all he saw was an empty space, all with the cement floor for as far as the eye could see. Where the hell am I? He thought to himself. Hello? Is anyone there? He called out again, but again got no reply. He checked his pockets to see if he had his phone, but it wasn't there. Shit! What the hell am I gonna do? He started hyperventilating, but told himself he needed to calm down. Chill out, man. Just think. Just think. What's the last thing you remember? He thought to himself as he tried really hard to remember. He sighed. I feel like it's right there on the tip of my tongue, right at the forefront of my memory, but I can't pull it forward. Jared stood up and looked around. He wondered which way he should try to go, but everything looked the same in every direction. It made him a little bit dizzy looking all around him. He covered his face with his hands and made himself take a couple of long deep breaths. He randomly picked a direction and started walking. He walked for what felt like 15 minutes and still saw no sign of anything other than the empty space and cement floor. He stopped and looked around again. How the hell can this just go on forever? He started walking again in the same direction. He thought he heard something in the distance behind him. He stopped and looked back behind him to see if he could see whatever made that sound. After not seeing anything, he turned to start walking again, and he thought he heard the noise again. He stopped and looked behind him again. Dude, you're imagining stuff. Chill the fuck out, he said to himself. He turned to keep walking, and he heard a very clear growl off in the distance behind him. Nope, he said as he took off running. He ran until he felt like his lungs were going to burst, and he slowed down to try to catch his breath. He looked back behind himself again, seeing if anything was following him, but he didn't see anything. Then he heard the growl again, but it was off in a different direction. He looked that direction, but then looked in the direction he had first heard the growl. Then he heard it again, only this time it was in yet another direction. Suddenly he felt himself feeling disoriented because he was looking all around himself. He covered his face with his hands and took a few long, slow, deep breaths. When he pulled his hands away from his face, there was something less than 10 feet away from him rushing at him really fast. Holy shit, what the fuck? Next thing he knew, he was waking up laying in a grassy area propped up against a tree. Hey guys, come sit with me, Brady waved to a few of their friends as they approached with their lunch trays. She had been friends with Jared for a long time, but they had 3 other friends that they would hang out with quite a bit. Their names were Matt, Derek, and Stefan. Hey Brady, how's it going? Matt said. Pretty good. What about you? Brady said. Oh, we're okay. Right guys? Matt said. Yep, we're good. Hey Brady. Stefan was just mentioning Jared. When are we gonna be going back to the restaurant again and see if we can figure something out? Brady sighed. I don't know, guys. It's been like 6 months and we've been back to the restaurant like 4 or 5 times. I don't know what else to do. Hey y'all! We can't give up. Jared is counting on us, Matt said. I know, man, Stefan said. But what else can we do? I don't even know if he's still in the restaurant. We've gotten hours worth of footage and tons of photos. There are definitely things going on in that restaurant, but I feel like none of it is related to whatever happened to Jared. Brandy teared up and buried her face in her hands. Matt put a hand on her shoulder. You okay? Brandy wiped a tear away. Yeah, I just worry about him. We've been friends for so long that it has really sucked not seeing him these past 6 months. I really hope that he's still out there somewhere and that something worse hasn't happened to him. You mean worse as in hopefully he's not dead? Stefan said. Brandy gasped and glared at him. Stefan put his hands in the air defensively. What? I'm only saying what we're all thinking. Brandy sighed. Okay, you're right. I just don't like to think about that as a possibility. I don't even want to acknowledge that it's a possibility. He has to be out there somewhere. Okay, yep. So, like, what do we do now? Where do we go from here? Like, do we keep trying the restaurant? Matt said. Well, the owners told us that we're welcome to do our investigation every Saturday evening after they close for the night. I'm grateful that they're still okay with that because when Jared disappeared, they could have very easily said they didn't want us coming back again. If that were the case, Brandy shuddered. Matt again put his hand on Brandy's shoulder. Thankfully, that's not the case, but I feel like we haven't made any progress as far as figuring out what happened to Jared. We've gotten a ton of video and photos, and we've seen quite a bit happen. But I don't think any of it has anything to do with what happened to Jared. Wasn't there slime and stuff in the area that Jared went missing? Yeah, Brandy said. And there was a growl. Oh, right, that growl. I forgot about that. And we haven't experienced any of that again since that first night, right? Right, Brandy said. So what do you think that means? I honestly don't know. I think if it was something specific to the restaurant, I think we would have experienced some of the same stuff throughout all the times that we've been in there. The only thing was the whispers or whatever. The whispers? Stefan said. Yeah, Brady said. Since he went missing, yes, we haven't seen the slime or whatever. And we haven't seen anything like what we saw rush at Jared just before he went missing. But I've heard stuff. Like what? Derek said. Like almost a cry for help. Like last time I heard it, I could have sworn it said help me, don't leave me. But when I rewatched the video afterwards, I couldn't hear it on the recording. So I don't know if it was in my head or not, Brady said. Oh, now that you mention it, I've had a few times when we were investigating in there, I could have sworn I heard someone say help me, but it was very faint, Matt said. And did you check the recording? Brady said. Yeah, but like yours, there was no voices other than ours on it, so I don't know. Okay, y'all, Brady said. I think we should get back to the restaurant this weekend. And I think we should focus our efforts a bit more on the basement. It seems like we get more weird experiences there. Yep, sounds good, they all said. Thank you for calling the Route 1 Family Diner. My name is Penelope. How may I help you? Hey, Penelope, it's Brandy. Oh, hey, Brandy. How are you and your friends holding up? We're okay. We still struggle with Jared not being here, but we refuse to give up. We're determined to figure out what happened and to get him back. That's actually why I'm calling. Would the owners allow us to come in this Saturday after y'all close and do some more investigating? Brandy, that won't be a problem. The owners feel horrible about Jared disappearing on the property, and they said that you and your friends are welcome anytime. They're just as anxious as you and your friends for you to be able to find Jared and bring him home. They can't express how badly they feel about what happened. Penelope stopped. Beg pardon? Penelope said. Penelope, we don't blame them at all. They didn't do anything to cause Jared to disappear. Please tell them that we do not blame them, and if anything, we are just very grateful and appreciative about them allowing us to continue visiting their restaurant and continuing to investigate to see what we can do to bring Jared back home. Brandy, that's really sweet of you to say. I will definitely relay that to the owners, and I'm sure they will appreciate that as well. So you all will be coming back around this Saturday night? Yes, ma'am. I mean, if that's okay. Of course, Brandy. Why don't you drop by Friday before we close, and I'll give you a key, a temporary alarm code. Give you the key and give you a temporary alarm code like all the other times. You pretty much know the drill by now, I'm sure. Yep, we've got it down. Thank you so much, and I will see you after school on Friday. Sounds great, Brandy. See you then, Penelope said before disconnecting the call. Friday afternoon after they got out of school, Brandy stopped by the restaurant to meet up with Penelope so she could get the key and the temporary alarm code. On her way out, she stopped by Jared's parents' house. A minute or so after ringing the doorbell, the door swung open. Max, Jared's dad, answered the door. Why, Brandy, so good to see you. Would you like to come in? Hello, sir. Sure. I'd love to come in. Brandy, how many times must I tell you, call me Max? Yes, sir, Max. Apologies. Hey, Sharon. Look who's here, Max called out down the hall. Jared's mom appeared in the hall, making her way down to the front door and where Max and Brandy were standing. My Brandy, dear, it's been too long. Let's all take a seat in the living room. It's okay, ma'am. I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time, Brandy said. Brandy, please stop with the ma'am. Call me Sharon. Yes, ma'am. Well, I mean Sharon. Sorry. It's totally fine, Sharon said, as she motioned for everyone to go into the living room. As Brandy and Max sat down, Sharon called out from the kitchen. Can I offer you anything to drink? We have water, tea, Sprite, Dr. Pepper, and some of that flavored sparkling water. Tea, please, ma'am. I mean, Sharon. Sharon shook her head and laughed as she poured a glass of tea. Love, would you like anything while I'm in here? I'll do a Dr. Pepper, my love. Thank you, Max said. Here you go, you two, Sharon said as she handed them their drinks. So, what have you been up to? Sharon asked as she sat down on the couch with him. Oh, not too much, Brady said. Been busy with school as always. That, and we're still going back to the restaurant to do investigation to see what we could figure out. I just wanted to stop and check on you two. How are you guys holding up? Max looked down for a second, then took a sip of his drink. Sharon coughed, and a tear rolled down her cheek. She took a sip of water and then looked back at Brandy. No, we're hanging in there. We still can't believe he's not here. We miss him so much. I know, Sharon. I can't apologize enough for what happened. Me and the rest of our friends will keep doing everything we can to find him and bring him home. Max squeezed Sharon's hand. We know, hun. We know. And we believe that somehow you and your friends will pull it off. Have you guys uncovered anything new recently? Well, Brandy said, when we were talking about it recently, we realized that we've all been hearing things at random times. What kind of things? Sharon asked. Well, things like a very faint sound, almost like the sound of a distant voice in the wind. What does the voice say? Sharon asked. Well, for the most part, when we've heard it, it sounds a lot like "Help me, don't leave me." Wow, that's very interesting, Max said. Do you think that it's Jared's voice? We believe it is. Although I don't think we can be 100% certain. Why not? Max asked. Well, y'all, it's not a very clear voice. It sounds like it could be him, but it also is very faint, and so it also almost doesn't sound like anyone. It's more of a loud whisper, if that makes sense. Yeah, we got you, Sarah said. So something interesting about these experiences, though, is we've all heard them at different times. But when we go and bring up the video, you can't hear it on the video playback. Wow, that is really interesting for sure, Max said. Well, Brady said, as she finished her glass of tea, I guess I should get going. We're going back to the restaurant tomorrow night to see what we might be able to find out. Whatever we find, we will keep you posted. Every time we go back there, the night before, I tell myself, maybe this will be the day we finally bring Jared back. But then we basically go there and get a lot of random recordings, photos, and evidence, and it still feels like we're no closer to finding him and bringing him home. Well, we appreciate you coming by. Can I get a hug? Sharon asked. Of course, Brandy said as she hugged them both. Well, I always say we need to have and hold on to hope. So let's just end this visit by saying what you would normally say, that maybe this one is the time when you guys will find him and bring him home. Thank you, Max and Sharon. I definitely am grateful that you have faith in us. You know, I always feel like I will never be able to apologize enough for this. Oh, shush you, Sharon said as she pulled Brandy into another hug. Just go do what y'all do, and if you don't find him and bring him home, you'll just keep trying until you figure it out. We believe in you. Whether it's tomorrow or the next time, y'all go back out there again. We believe in we believe you'll find him. Thank you, y'all. I really appreciate it. Of course, Max said. And please don't be a stranger. You and Jared have been friends since y'all were little, so you're kind of like family to us. Thank you so much. That means so much. Well, I'll talk to you both again soon. Of course, Brandy, be safe, Max said as he closed the door behind her. After running from something he couldn't see but could only hear, he wasn't sure exactly what happened. One minute he was running, and then there was a flash or something. Did he see something come at him? He was just so confused. It was all so foggy. His head felt like he had downed either a bunch of shots to the point of blacking out, but that wouldn't be possible. Although he had tried a drink or two here or there whenever his parents offered, he didn't do it on his own. Being 18 and still in high school, he never really had the desire to get too much into that. At least not until he could do it without getting in trouble. Jared rubbed his temples. His head was pounding. It's like the more he tried to think about things, and the more he tried to remember what happened and what was going on, the more foggy his head was, and the more his head ached. In his gut, he had his feeling like he was being blocked, almost as if he were trying to call home, but was only getting a busy signal all the time. He sat back down and leaned against the tree he woke up next to. He closed his eyes and tried to focus. A few minutes later, he started to see a lot of random colors flashing all around him. He couldn't make out any shapes at all because it was too bright. Jared? He thought he heard very faintly off in the distance. Brandy? He called out. But even to him, his own voice sounded very faint. But to his surprise, he heard the voice again. Jared? Is that you? Yes, I'm here. Brandy, help me. I don't know where I am. Help me. Tell me how to find you, Jared. We're looking for you. We'll bring you home. Brandy! I don't know. I've been dreaming a lot lately. Seeing flashes and bright lights. I keep getting this message. A thought, really, but it doesn't really make sense. Jared, are you still there? Brandy, did you hear me? Faintly in the distance, he heard. Oh, good, you're still there. A thought? What thought? The message or thought that went through my head was find the coldest spot and travel the opposite direction of the growl. What? That doesn't make any sense, though, Brady said faintly in the distance. Yeah, I don't understand either. There was a few minutes of silence. Brandy? Are you still there? More silence. Brandy? Brandy! Don't go, help me, I'm scared. Jared woke up, still leaning against the tree. He shook his head. What was that about? He vaguely remembered dreaming that he was talking to Brandy, but the more he tried to think about it and bring it to the forefront of his mind, the more his head hurt and the more the fog creeped in and took over his mind. The more he thought about it, it felt as if it was just yet another dream and that it was just slipping away from him. That one thing that stood out to him was what he said to Brandy. Find the coolest spot. and traveled the opposite direction of the growl. What the hell does that mean? He thought to himself. His head was so foggy, especially now that he wasn't even sure that he was remembering that correctly. What the hell is this place? Why can I not remember? Why can I not think straight? Jared shivered as he tried to think about it. It worried him because the more he tried to think about what to do, to think about how to get back to his friends and his family, the more his head hurt. The foggier his mind got, and it made him extremely afraid that something, some unseen force, was keeping him trapped here. It felt like, in a way, that all he had to do was be able to think clearly, and he'd be able to either get a message to his friends, or he would be able to find a way out for himself. But it felt like there was something keeping him from being able to do that. He couldn't think straight, so he couldn't really make a plan. He wasn't even sure that he had really talked to Brandy. He thought there was a high probability that it was all just a dream. He shuddered at that thought. He reminded himself what he had always said when hanging out with his friends. We have to hold on to hope at all costs. Brandy woke up Saturday morning, and she sat up in bed and stared at the wall, deep in thought. She felt a sense of joy, but also a sense of confusion as well as heartache. Had that just been a dream? She could hear a voice that sounded just like Jared's, although it was way off in the distance. But she had asked him questions and he had answered her. But again, was it real? Or was it just a dream? Was her mind playing out a scenario of wishful thinking for her? What was that he said about a thought? She rested her head in her hands for a minute as she thought. Find the coldest spot and then go in the opposite direction from where you hear the growl? What? She thought to herself, feeling more puzzled than ever. That doesn't make any sense. If it was me really talking to him, why couldn't he be more clear, she sighed. Shaking her head, she figured it wasn't something she would be able to figure out right now. She would talk to her friends about it a little bit later and see what they thought. Maybe they would be able to make sense of it. For now, she was just going to try to not think about it and get ready to head out to meet them. Today is the day. Today, they were going to be going back to the restaurant to see if they could figure out anything else. She was both excited and terrified. She didn't know if they would bring him back today or if it would be yet another investigation where they would get lots of evidence, but lacked the one thing that they were there to achieve, which would be to bring their friend home safe and sound. And now, the conclusion of the fight with it. Jared still had no idea what he was going to do. He'd been lost for, felt like forever. Time really didn't feel the same here as it did in the real world. He felt like it had only been a couple days, but he had this nagging fear that it had been much, much longer. Most days he would wake up pretty much laying next to a tree in a grassy area. A lot of times the weather around him was pretty good. Every so often he'd wake up and it'd be storming on him. He'd be getting drenched as it rained on him. He was surprised actually because through all the times that he woke up in the rain, being soaking wet and having nowhere to take shelter. He never got sick. It was almost like this place wasn't in the real world or anything like the real world, as if it was some kind of other dimension, some other realm. He didn't know what to think about it. But and also he noticed that he never really had to eat or drink. Like he never was hungry, he never was thirsty. And even though he slept, he never necessarily felt all that tired, so he was surprised that he had to sleep. But he still found himself just randomly, he would lay down and relax. Next thing you know, he's waking up. Or on occasion, he would spot whatever it was at the corner of his eye rushing towards him in the wooded area. But it was such a blur, and it happened so fast that he never could see exactly what it was. All he would remember afterwards was basically something charging at him from usually less than 40 yards away, and rushing at him so fast that it almost didn't seem real. It was almost like a blur. It happened so often, and he always felt the same when he woke up, like he was questioning his own sanity. As he lay there next to the tree after just waking up, and again, of course, the weather around him was extremely nice. He was one other thing he was surprised too about not being bored. He just nothing to do, no access to any kind of devices, nobody to chat with, and yet he found that in this other place, wherever he was, it was almost like there was no feelings at all. He just didn't feel bad, but he didn't feel good. He just felt like content, like everything was just kind of like neutral, kind of. As he wakes up, he looks around, checking out the scenery again, wondering himself, where the hell am I? I really wish I really hope I can make it back home. I'm so tired of this crap. Brandy, where are you? All of a sudden, he realizes he's hearing a voice inside of his head. Jared? What? Hello? Jared, is that you? Brandy? Where the hell are you? Like, suddenly he's looking around, and all he sees around him is pitch blackness. He can feel the tree next to him, and he can feel the grass on the ground. But where'd the sun go? Where'd all the light go? Where'd the cloud? Like, he can't see anything. He looked around. He kind of blinked his eyes for a few minutes, and squinted up to the sky and wondered, like, I can't even see. Like, usually when it's dark, even in the woods, like, you would still see something. Like, it's not just utter blackness. You could see like the shapes of the trees around you. But what the hell? Where am I? Jared? Hey, Brandy, where you calling? Where you at? It sounds like your voice is coming from all sides. Jared, where are you? I don't know, Jared yelled. Please help me, Brandy, help me. I'm trying, Jared. I don't know where to get to you that, though. Jared! Jared, where are you? Brandy! Jared! Jared found himself looking all around as he could hear Brandy's voice, but it was fading off in the distance as if she was disappearing. As if she was going further and further away. Brandy, come back! Brandy! Jared! Brandy, no! Silence. Brandy! Brandy! Oh, get together, Jared. Get together. Get it together. Oh, you're not gonna die here. You're not gonna die here, Jared. Come on. Come on. He slaps himself in the face. Come on, man. Get it together. Get it together. Oh, okay. Whew. Whew. As he sits there trying to keep himself calm, trying to calm himself down, trying to keep from freaking himself out too much. He took a few more deep breaths. All right, Jared. All right. Okay, come on, man. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Brady woke up and sat up in bed, and just kind of like leaned over with her head in her hands and squinted and thought really hard for a minute. That was really weird, she thought. Man, that was a weird dream. Hey, honey. Yes, Mom. Are you coming down for dinner? Yeah, I'll be down in a second. You sound like, is everything okay? Brady's mom said. Yeah, I just had a weird dream. What about Jared again? Yeah, but Brady sighed. I know you're gonna find him, Brady. I know. It's just don't overthink it. Just everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine, my dear. Yeah, I know, Mom. I know. I just he's been gone for it's been like 8 months. It's like we went back to the diner like a month and a half back, thinking that maybe we had some clues. Maybe we were gonna try to be able to figure it out how to get him back home, and we came up empty. Like we didn't even have any experiences. I mean, we had some interesting experiences, but there's nothing that that would lead us to Jared. It's like there's nothing conclusive. All right, my dear, just as Brady's mom squeezed her shoulder. Just take a breath. Just you're gonna figure it out. You and your friends always do. I know that it's been a while, but I know you guys will figure it out. Just gotta have faith. Just gotta maybe pray on it. Meditate on it. Just try to do whatever you can to just not let it drag you down too much. Just just have faith in yourself, my dear. I know, Mom. Thank you. I know. I love you, sweetie. Her mom said, gave her a hug. I love you too, Mom. The next day at school, Brady was eating lunch and, of course, was staring off into space when all of a sudden she was jolted awake by a really loud thud. Ah! She said, jumping up. What the hell, man? Oh, sorry, Matt said as he just dropped his books on the table right next to her. Brady jumped up, grabbed her napkin, and started stopping the drink from getting onto his books, because when he had dropped the books on the table and she jumped, she had spilled a drink. Well, that was close. Geez, man, you're really jumpy, Matt said as he watched her, save his books from getting soda on him. Thank you for getting that picked up. Like that would kind of suck to explain to the teachers why my book was destroyed. Like, well, it's your fault, fucker. Brady said. Whoa, language, Matt said. Holy crap, what's wrong? What's up with you? He was like, oh, I'm sorry, Brady said. Just sighed, looked away. Let me guess, another dream about Jared, Matt said. Yeah, I keep having them, it's like sometimes I have them once a night, sometimes it's every couple days, and every time it's like, oh man, Brady said, looked away. What is it, Matt said. Brady looked back and, yeah, you're gonna think I'm nuts. Matt kind of laughed. You mean like nuts, like any of the stuff that we've already experienced, like Jared being off somewhere, alive somewhere that we don't know where, like none of that makes us seem nuts at all. All right, fine, Brady said. I feel like when I'm in the dream, I feel like I'm really talking to Jared. Like I don't feel like it's a dream. What? You mean like you think it's real? Matt said. Yeah, kind of. Man. Now saying it out loud, I feel like I sound nuts. Randy, will you just relax? Matt said. You don't. I mean, okay. You do sound nuts, and maybe to anybody that doesn't know what's going on in our group, like what's even though people know that Jared disappeared, but you know they don't exactly know the situation. So yeah, they might think that we sound nuts in general, but just you're fine. Just relax, Brady said, squeezing her shoulder. Yeah, I know. All right, Brady said. So it's almost like, and it's very quick too. It's like we literally, I'm not with him, but it's like I can hear him, and then I respond, and he can hear me, but it sounds like we're like miles apart. And I don't know how that's possible, because you couldn't really yell and have somebody hear you a couple miles away, but yet we hear each other. And in the dream, this is another weird thing too. What is it, Matt said? It's pitch black. Like it's almost like I can kind of make out. I would almost, I'd have to guess as to what I'm seeing around me in the dark, but it's pitch black to the point where you literally almost can't see anything. I can vaguely make out shapes around me, but I don't know. I can't be for certain because it's so dark that it's hard to tell. There's no details or whatever. It's just black. It's just pitch black and shadows or whatever. It's like, huh? Matt said. Well, what do you think you see? What kind of shapes in the dark do you think you see? Matt said. Honestly, it looks like trees. Like what I feel like I'm laying on the ground against what feels like to be like a trunk, like the tree trunk. And in the dark, even though it's pitch black, you kind of see the dark outline in the air, like there's trees around you. Okay, Matt said. So what do you think? He's in some kind of forest somewhere? And well, I mean, Bray said, I don't know if it's any forest that we know of, because I mean, he's been gone 8 months. Like, there's no way he could survive, like, in our reality, just lost in some kind of wooded area. And plus, how would he have gotten there from the basement of the diner? Like, how that just doesn't make sense. Well, Brady, I mean, nothing that we've dealt with this diner and with this whole investigation has really made sense. I mean, so don't feel too bad about it and stuff. Like, have you got any other information? Like, what do you mean? Brady said. Like, well, I mean, Matt continued. Well, just like, has he said anything in the dream that kind of would give you an idea as to where he might be? Like, she's like, well, no. Basically, the only thing he's been able to say, because usually it's really quick, is help me. And I've yelled back to him, like, I'm trying to find you. Where are you? And of course he goes, I don't know. Just please help me. And then as we keep trying to yell things back and forth, all of a sudden it gets as if the gap between us is getting bigger, and suddenly like he's getting quieter and quieter, and I can't hear him until he's just gone again. Huh? Matt said. I wonder, because let me, I might have an idea. Matt said. Oh, really? Brady said, looking over at him. Yeah, I know a guy. Well, actually, it's a chick. I know a lady, I guess, that some would call her a witch, but she kind of dabbles a little bit in the supernatural stuff. And she's talked about sometimes there being supernatural hotspots where things can kind of cross over, and sometimes when they cross over to our world or our reality, sometimes if somebody ends up in that same spot, sometimes that person could end up being pulled through and being trapped in these other creatures' reality or realm or whatever you want to call them as. Really? Oh man, that's kind of weird. Brady said, I've never heard about anything like that. Well, that's because you don't really dabble in that stuff. Neither do I really. I just happen to. I know this lady. She and I have known each other for a while. And, I don't really talk about her because not many people are huge fans of what she does. But I try not to judge. Because we all have our skills. Well, yeah, totally. Brady said. So like, So you think she might have an idea as to how we can figure out where he went to or whatever? And yeah, I think so. Matt said. Let me give her a call, and I'll reach out to you. How about we talk again at lunch tomorrow? All right, sounds good. Brady said. All right. So sorry again for scaring you when I dropped my books on the table. No worries, Brady said. No worries. Just not gonna lie, you're kind of a dick, but hey, no need to call names, Matt said. Yeah, I'm sorry. All right. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Matt. All right, Brandy. Matt grabbed his books and headed off. Brandy looked down at her lunch tray and just kind of sighed. Not even really that hungry. But I think I need, obviously I need my strength, so I'm gonna go ahead and eat. Picked up her spoon and started eating her mashed potatoes. Ooh, surprisingly not bad, she said to herself. Hey, Brandy, what's up? Brandy looks over and sees Brett walking over to her. Hey, Brett, what's up? How you doing? Where's the rest of the gang? Oh, I don't know. I think they went back to class early, Brett said. Oh, okay. Brett sat down beside her. So how's it hanging? Like, what's going on? Haven't really talked to you for a few days. Oh, not much, Brandy said. Just was talking to Matt a little bit earlier. Just telling him about my dreams I've been having. Oh, right. The ones that you've been dreaming about Jared, right? Brett said. Yeah, pretty much. So Matt thinks he might know somebody actually, to see if oh man, I really don't like saying this a lot. I feel, even though you're probably gonna think I'm nuts, even though, oh wait a minute, like Matt, Brandy, I would never think you're nuts. Why would you think that? Like, did you tell Matt about it already? Did he think you're nuts? Well, no, Matt actually thought that, or he told me that, pretty much like majority of the stuff we've already dealt with, like, most of that would pretty much be considered nuts anyway. So Brett laughed. See, like we've been friends for a while and stuff. We've been dealing with this situation for a while, so don't worry. I would never judge you. I'll admit there's one thing I don't understand. Brett said. Like what? Brady said. I don't understand why you're the one having the dream, and like none of us have had any kind of communication with Jared at all. But that's kind of weird. But that doesn't mean I think you're nuts or anything. That just Brett kind of looked away for a second. Brady's like, what's the problem? Like, what's wrong? Brett's like, I don't know. He's one of my best buds. I just miss him. Just wait. I hope he's okay. And like, because you're actually like hearing from him, so that gives me hope that he's actually okay. Brandy was like, yeah, well, that's if I'm actually talking to Jared. Like if this is actually him I'm talking to. Otherwise, it could just be my subconscious just making shit up. They both laughed. Brett was like, well, let's think positive and think that this is actually Jared you're talking to, because the alternative is that he's dead. And Brandy was like, yeah, we don't want to think about that. It's like, Brett's like, yeah, we really don't want him to be dead. I'd like to think he's out there somewhere, and that we just have to find him and bring him home. So what did you and Matt what did you and Matt talk about? Well, we were talking about my dreams with Jared and stuff, and I was telling him how like my dreams kind of feel like I'm communicating with Jared in some other reality, kind of, but that it feels like when we're talking, we're yelling back and forth and we're miles apart in pitch blackness. There's like trees nearby. I can kind of make out the shapes in the darkness, but otherwise I can't see anything. And I don't know that in the dream all I can hear is him saying help me, and I'm screaming back at him. I'm trying. I don't where are you? I'm trying to get to you, and he's like, I don't know. Please help me. Oh man, Brett, he sounds so scared whenever I hear him in my dreams. It almost sounds hopeless. Like he's given up hope that he's ever going to be able to make it back. Oh, let's not think like that, Brett said. I'm sure he's fine. We're gonna get him. So like, did Matt have any ideas? Randy looked away. Yeah, he knows this. He said he knows this lady friend of his that he's been friends with for a while. That she dabbles in, I guess, call it witchcraft. You know, but she might be able to help figure out. I said something about that sometimes rifts in our reality get open, and sometimes creatures that we can't see will actually end up in our reality. And if somebody ends up close to that opening or whatever, sometimes they'll get attacked and end up being pulled back through the veil to wherever they're from. And that, so I'm hoping, because he's going to talk to her, I'm hoping that once he talks to her, there might be a way to figure out like where he went, and how to get, maybe where he went, and if we can figure out that, maybe we can figure out how to get him back. Well, that's cool, Brett says. I mean, see, that gives me there's a little bit of hope right there. Yeah, you're right, Brady said. So, when are you gonna follow up? Tomorrow, Brady said. All right, cool. Well, I'll drop by, around the same time tomorrow, and I'll catch up with you and Matt together if you guys are both here. Otherwise, if I just catch you, then I'll just let me know what he says and like what the plan is, because it's been 8 months now so far. Really missed the guy, whatever. It's like, I mean, Jared's one of my best buds, and I just hate that this has happened to him, and hope we can get him back in one piece. Brady's like, I hope so too. I mean, I like, got to be positive and say, we will. Brett laughed. Yeah, I know. I try to be positive. Sometimes, you know how it is. Sometimes it's really hard. Yeah, I know, Brady said. There's days I randomly just cry myself to sleep. My mom thinks that there's something else wrong, and I just have to tell her no. It's just I miss Jared. Yeah, I gotcha, Brett said. All right, well, I'm going to head off to class. I'll see you tomorrow, Brandy. All right, catch you later, Brett. Brandy finished the rest of her lunch and then headed off to class herself. The next morning, she was getting ready for class, getting ready to head to school, and her phone went off. Hello? Brady, hey, it's Matt. Matt, hey, Brady said. Why are you calling me? Like, I thought we were going to meet at lunch at school. Yeah, I'm still going to meet up with you, but I thought I'd call you because this might actually be some good news. I talked to my friend. Oh, really? What'd she say? Brady said. She said that she basically confirmed what I was talking to you about last night. That there are sometimes like that, and I kind of explained what happened, like how it happened, and she said that it sounds exactly like what we were talking about. That she thinks there might be an opening down there in the basement of the diner, and that sometimes like first we got to figure out how to contact him because before we can close it. We have to basically be able to get him out of there, because otherwise, if we close it, he's trapped wherever he is. Oh man, that would suck. Brady said, "Calm down. Like, we're not, obviously. That's why I said we gotta get him out first, and then we can close that. Then and then that'll actually help the diner too." Really? How will it help the diner? Brady said, because if the reason why they're having their odd experiences at night is because of this rift that's in their basement, that's basically it's connecting their restaurant to this other realm, and this other realm has this creature that we can't see. Then it could be what's attacking people, or basically destroying stuff in the restaurant, and causing there to be some supernatural stuff. Brandy's like, huh? Well, I mean, I'm just thinking. And I was like, what's up? Silence for a minute. Hello? Brandy? Oh, sorry, Brandy said. Yeah, I was just thinking. You remember when we saw on the video when Jared was walking to that window and the blinds raised up really quick, and there was like two red glowing eyes inside the window? Oh shit, man! I just got goosebumps thinking about that. And I said, yeah, that kind of would explain that too. Like, if this creature, like, maybe we can't, for the most part, we can't see it, but every so often, maybe somehow, depending on like what's happening or the circumstances, maybe it maybe it ends up showing itself kind of like with the red eyes. Like we couldn't see anything else. We just see the eyes. Like that would kind of explain that, I guess. Yeah, you're right. Matt said. So, what's the plan? Like, I mean, let's still meet up at lunch today. Let's kind of talk about a game plan because you know, I know we both really want to get it back, and you know, well, Matt, like, what did your friend? Did she say there's anything like what can we do? And I was like, well, first, like I said, we got to get Jared out of wherever he is, and then after that, there's like a ritual kind of, that we gotta like a little do like a chant, and part of it is even though it's kind of witchcraft, it's still basically doing a chant, kind of like a prayer and um, holding something that's important to Jared, like like something that really means a lot to him, something that has like almost like a sign of his faith, kind of. Oh, you mean like if we were to borrow like one of his cross necklaces from his parents, because I know he went to church every weekend. Yeah, that would probably work. Matt said, because I know usually it's like symbol like things like that usually have a lot of power because of how the owner of that item, how much they believe in it. That's the belief in that item that gives it power. And so yeah, that would probably work. Matt said. All right, cool. So I gotta get going, but I'll talk to you at lunch, okay, Matt? All right, Brandy, we'll talk to you later. Blink. All morning, sitting in class, Brandy couldn't keep still. She found that she was like really, really antsy. Really, kind of a part excited, part terrified, because she's like thinking to herself, we might actually be getting close to get Jared back. She was kind of wondering though, because it's been a couple days since that last dream she had where she was dreaming that her and Jared were yelling back and forth in the darkness, and she hadn't heard from him since. She's like, I hope nothing happened to him. She shook her head, trying to shake the thought out of her head. Come on, Brandy, come on, think positive, Just like Jared's okay, we'll get to him. Don't worry. All right. So at lunch, she sat there picking at her food while she waited for Matt to show up. A couple minutes later, Matt came walking up to her. Hey, Matt! Hey! She jumps up, gives him a big hug. Oh, wow, okay. Whoa, that was kind of unexpected. I'm sorry, Brady said. Just really great, really glad to see you, and I kind of have a little bit of hope with recent developments. I have a little bit of hope that we'll be able to get it back soon. Yeah, I'm hopeful too. I really think this might be it. Have you heard from him in your dream the past couple days? No, Brady said, not since the last time I told you about. It's weird. It's been a couple days at least, and I just that made me kind of worry that something happened to him. Like why I haven't heard from him. But then I had to shake that thought out of my head because I don't want to think that way. I know that he's fine, and we just gotta he's just trapped there, and we have to figure out how to reach him. Yep, you're right. So Matt looked off to the side and motioned to a young lady with red hair, kind of short, but wearing all black eyeshadow, and said, Matt looks back at Brady. Hey, Brady, I'd like to introduce you to Sarah. She's my, I guess you could call her my Wiccan friend. Oh, hey, Sarah, nice to meet you, Brady said, reaching out a hand to shake her hand. Likewise, Sarah said. So, Matt tells me that you guys have a friend that disappeared. Is that correct? Yeah, Sarah, yeah. Like, how long ago? Like, when did he disappear, Sarah said. Well, Brady said, like, it's been like 8 months now, I think. Like, we've done other investigations trying to figure out how to get him back, and trying to find out where he is, like, what happened to him, and, like, if he's okay, and the closest I've come is kind of something weird that you might You probably think I'm weird when you hear about it. Sarah laughed. You mean, let me guess, like, you mean when you talk to him in your dreams? Oh, Matt told you. Yeah, he did. It's fine. But no, I don't think you're weird at all, because that kind of stuff happens a lot, especially in the supernatural world. Like you would you would be surprised to know like how often people will dream about other people, especially those that have passed on or those that, like in this kid's situation, right there in another realm. Sometimes there's only certain ways that will connect us, and it sounds like you and Jared are connected through your dreams. Like whenever you're asleep, you guys are being able to connect together, and that way he's able to communicate with you, which is good because he could have just disappeared. And Brady cut her off. What do you mean, like it's good that you know that we're able to talk in our dreams? Well, Sarah said it's good because you guys are communicating. Like he could have just disappeared and not like you guys never hear from him, so there'd be no way to know where he is or if he's alive or dead, or because people disappear all the time. A lot of times they're just never found again. Like there's never found or heard from again. Like nobody ever sees them, whatever. They're just gone, and that is the worst part for a lot of people that are left behind that are dealing with it. Wow, I can only imagine. Brady said, I've never lost anybody before. This is my first time ever losing anybody, especially somebody close. And yeah, I'm definitely grateful that I've been talking to him in my dream, even though at first when it happened, Sarah cut her off. Wait, let me guess. You thought you were nuts. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm dreaming about my friend that everybody thinks is just dead somewhere, and yeah, here I'm talking to him in my dreams. Sarah laughed. Yeah, don't be too hard on yourself. I mean, I honestly think that he's totally fine. That he's just trapped where he is, because it wasn't just like a one-time dream. You've dreamed about him a lot, and that tells me that he's over there. And the reason why you guys are connecting is maybe he's been trying to reach out to you for a long time, and finally he made connection. Like, when did your dreams where you started to communicate start? Brandy looked away, sighed for a minute. I mean, it didn't happen right away. Like, he was gone for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, maybe longer. He was only been with the last couple of months, and I started having random dreams. Really? Sarah said. What, like, was it as often as it is now, or was it pretty just like random? Brandy was like, it didn't happen too often. It was like maybe once every two weeks or so I would have a random dream about him. So I thought I was just wishful thinking. Okay, Sarah said, and like, well, lately it's actually been a lot more. Brady's like, yeah, usually like lately it's like there's some days it's like every day, and then like other times we might have a couple days, and then I might not dream about him for a couple days, and then it's another couple days again. So it's a lot more frequent than it was before. Huh? Interesting, Sarah said. So talking to Matt, I think we have a plan. Do you think we could get back into the area where Jared disappeared? Yeah, I think so, Brady said. Because the restaurant that this happened at, they've actually let us come back in there quite a few times since this happened, just because to do our investigation and figure out what happened. And I don't think it's gonna be a problem. Okay, yeah, if you could call them and like set something up, it's probably not. We're probably not going to achieve something the first time we go in there. We're probably going to need to go in there because I need to get some information, and then we can make a game plan, and then we should be able to go in there and try to see what we can do to get him out. Well, that sounds amazing, Brady said. All right, sounds good. So yeah, you go ahead. Why don't you get on the phone with the restaurant owner or whoever you talk to there, and let's say like sometime this weekend, can we try to? Yeah, what about like Saturday afternoon? Because they or Saturday late afternoon because they close early on the weekends. They don't stay up. They're only open until like mid-afternoon, Saturday and Sunday, and then they shut down or whatever. Okay, that sounds good, Sarah said. So yeah, I'll call them and I'll get something set up for like 5:30 Saturday evening, and we could all go there. And should we bring our cameras and stuff, or just like act like it's a regular investigation? It's like, well, you can. Sarah said, like, I mean, it's like I'm mainly gonna be. I want you to take me down to the area where he disappeared, and we're gonna kind of investigate around that area and try to figure out, because I have a couple of devices and I have some incense and herbs and stuff that I'm gonna burn in that area that kind of give me a reading on what's there, like well, what do you mean, like what's there? Brady said. Sarah's like, well, kind of like it's stuff that helped connect me to that kind of kind of connect me to the other side, kind of where I could kind of see a rift. I could see the rift if there is one. I could see the opening where nobody else could see it. Huh. Okay, well that sounds interesting, Brady said. But yeah, I'll call them and get set up, and then you just bring whatever you got to bring, and we'll see what we can do. Oh man, I'm so excited, Matt said in the background. Sarah and Brady both looked at him. Yeah. I mean, hopefully this works. Sarah's like, like I said, we're probably not going to get him back this weekend because maybe this is like just kind of a getting information investigation. Like I need to see what I'm working with, and then then I can figure out the best plan of attack for this. Well, hey, I'm down for anything, Matt said. Yeah, me too, Brady said. All right, so Sarah, thank you so much. I will get on the phone with him, and then we'll see you. Like, let's all meet at the restaurant on Saturday at 5:30. All right, sounds good. Yep, sounds like a plan, Matt said. All right, cool. So Brady sat back down and finished her lunch and just kind of like lost in thought for a minute. As she sat there, she thought about how tired she was, and she leaned her head on her hand. And before she knew it, she had dozed off and was asleep at the table. She hadn't been asleep for very long. Like she'd only fallen asleep for probably at least 5 minutes, but in the dream world, she woke up in this pitch black area again, laying on what felt like a grassy ground, leaning against what felt like a tree, looking around her and thinking to herself, man, it is dark as hell in here. And all of a sudden, Randy! Jared, where are you? Brandy, help me! Brandy jumped up, feeling her way around in the darkness. She started to walk towards the sound. Jared, Brandy! Jared, keep calling. I'm trying to find you. Brandy, I'm over here. As she felt like she was getting closer to the sound, she thought she saw a shape in the distance. Brandy! Jared, I think I see you. Keep calling me. Brandy! Jared! Brandy, I hear you! Jared! Next thing you know, out of the darkness, a figure appeared as it came through the trees. And even though she couldn't see him very well, she could tell by his outline. Holy crap, Jared! Brandy, holy crap! Oh man, I'm so glad to see you. What are you doing here? How did you get? Man, don't tell me you got lost too. Jared, calm down. No, how the hell? I don't even know what. She looks around. She's like, man, I don't even know what to say. How the heck is this possible? What are you talking about? Jared said. Well, literally a minute ago, I'm sitting in the freaking cafeteria, and I must have dozed off and fell asleep. Holy crap! So we are literally in our are we communicating our dreams? Jared said. I think so. Brady said. All right, so oh man, I'm so glad to see you. It feels like it's. How long have I been here? It feels like I've been in this forest or wherever for the past couple years. Oh, Jared, it's been Does it really feel like a couple years, Jared? Well, no, actually, I guess it doesn't feel that long. It feels like maybe 2 weeks, but it's been Like I haven't eaten or drank anything, and I don't know, man. It's just really weird. Like I still sleep even though I'm not tired. I just fall asleep even though it's like almost feel like I don't have to sleep, but I do. That's really strange, Brandy said. But yeah, so like, how do you think you feel like it's only been a couple weeks? I mean, maybe a month. Like Jared, you've been gone like 8 months. What? There's no way in hell. It couldn't have been that long. How could I go that long without eating or drinking? Hell, I didn't even go to the bathroom here. Like this is like nothing about this place is normal. Jared, calm down, calm down. But like this is progress. I like as long as this isn't me making this up in my head, because I don't know, maybe you're not real, Brandy. He said, just give her a punch in the arm. Ow. Okay, now that actually really did hurt. So maybe this is real, Brandy said. So like, all right. So we know that somehow we're connected because you and I have been able to communicate in our dreams. So here's the plan. Like Matt has a friend. Her name is Sarah, and she's like a Wiccan. Does stuff like witchcraft and stuff. But she might have a like something we could do, like a chant or something in the area that you disappeared. What if we could find where you went through? Then we could we could figure out a way to get you out. So I don't know what to expect, but kind of like sometime tomorrow or sometime it's gonna be a couple days for us, but I don't know how long that'll feel like for you. If you start to hear a chant coming from any part of this forest, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say go towards it. Just go with your gut though. If you think it's not us, then obviously stay away. But if you hear our voices and you don't feel like it's something dangerous, go towards it, because our plan is we want to close the rift, close the opening, but we gotta get you out of it first. Like we don't want to trap you here. Jared laughed. Well, that'd be great. Yeah, because I really don't want to be trapped here either. So please don't do that. Please, I'm begging you. Don't worry. We're not gonna trap you here. That's why we're gonna get you out first. But we have to figure out where the hell you are first, or at least guide you somehow through our sound that guides you back to where you wherever you went through. Yeah, sounds great. All right. So all of a sudden, off in the background, off in the distance, you hear. What the hell was that? Brandy said. Oh, man, not again. Brandy, you need to get out of here. What, Jared? What is that? I don't know, Jared said. There's something here. Whatever it was that attacked me in the basement, I think it's from here. Like, you gotta go. Like, it's chased me a few times here, but for some reason, like, it just, like, that's all it does. Like, I run away from it. I wake up somewhere else, It's like, I don't know. So far, it's like, as long as I run away when I hear it, I get away from it or whatever. It leaves me alone. Like I've never, it just, I don't know. Maybe it can't kill me in this realm, But Brandy, you gotta go. Oh man, I want to leave you here. Brandy, you gotta go. What? I don't even know how to go. Like what? Remember, we're connecting in her dream. How the heck do I go? Ow! What'd you slap me for? Brandy said. I'm trying to wake you up. Ow! Wake up, Brandy! All of a sudden, Brandy woke up, jerked awake at the table in the cafeteria. Whoa! And everybody, as she woke up, she screamed, "Ah! Oh, whoa!" And she looks around. Everybody in the cafeteria was completely silent and looking at her. Brandy said, "Sorry, guys, fell asleep, bad dream. Sorry." Everybody just shrugged and went back to their business. Brandy grabbed her lunch tray and went to throw away her stuff and head back to class. Later that night, she got up, she picked up her cell phone and dialed the restaurant's number. Thank you for calling Route 1 Family Diner. This is Penelope. How can I help you? Hey, Penelope. Hey, Brandy. Wow, it feels like it's been forever. I know it's only been like a month or so, but how you doing? Oh, I'm doing okay. Hey, I have a question. Penelope laughed. Like, when would you guys like to come back? Oh, you know us so well by now, right? Right, Penelope? Oh, yeah. Well, I know you guys are still trying to find your friend and stuff, so I totally get it. Like, just... So, when would you guys like to come back? Saturday evening, like 5:30ish or whatever. 'Cause I know you guys close early, right? Yeah, we close early, and so 5:30 works. Why don't you come by why don't you come by like Friday afternoon, and I'll give you the spare set of keys and the code for you guys for the alarm and stuff. Like usual, you guys know the drill. Penelope said. Yep, we know the drill. So but hopefully I think we might have to come by at least one more time after this, because this is kind of we're working on a plan and checking something out, seeing if we can figure out a way to bring Jared back from wherever he is. And really, Penelope said, like, you guys think he might be in like another place that connected to this realm, kind of, and then we just need to like that's interesting, that's fascinating. I almost would want to hang out with you guys and witness it myself, but Brandy's like, yeah, but you don't want to, right? Penelope laughed. No, not really. I think that'd probably be. I just have that gut feeling it probably wouldn't be a good idea. I'll just let you guys handle it. Yeah, you're right. Well, Penelope, I'll be back. I'll be through there on Friday sometime. I will see you then. Sounds good, Penelope. Or sounds good, Penelope said. So, as the next couple days went on, Brandy noticed that like she wasn't having any dreams about Jared anymore. It had been a couple days, and she kind of made her worry slightly that maybe maybe something had happened. But she had to tell herself, no, everything's fine. Like, we've got a couple days before we didn't hear anything. Friday afternoon, she stopped in there at the diner, and Penelope met her at the door. Hey, Brandy, so good to see you. So here's the keys, and here's the code for the alarm system. So just be careful, obviously, and lock up when you guys are done. And you know the drill. Brandy was like, yeah, thank you so much. We'll definitely leave it as we found it and all that fun stuff. And we'll let you know if and what we find out, pretty much. That sounds good, Brandy. Sounds good. So Saturday at 5:30, Brandy was sitting there waiting in the parking lot when Brett and Matt, Stefan, and Sarah showed up. And they all met at the front door. Hey guys, Brandy said. Hey, what's up? Matt said. How y'all doing? Stefan said. Hey y'all, Sarah said as she's kind of like hung back behind the group. Hey guys, hey, so you must be Sarah, Matt said. Or you must be Sarah, Stefan said. Yep, that's me. One of Matt's friends. So. All right, so like, what's the plan? Stefan said. Well, let's go inside and like, why don't you guys show me where he disappeared at? Let's go there first, because that's probably gonna be where this all takes place. But we gotta before we can get him back and close this, we need to figure out where exactly it happened. All right, let's go. Brandy took her keys out and unlocked the door and let themselves in. It was actually down here, she said, as she headed down the basement stairs with everybody else in tow. Holy shit, this place is creepy, Stefan said. Yeah, you ain't lying, Brandy said. No, it ain't that bad, Matt said. Are you nuts? Sarah said. Man, I'm into Wicked and this place freaks me out. Y'all shut up, Brandy said. Let's get let's not be down here any longer than we have to. Matt laughed. Brandy, you're so serious. Shut up, Matt. Wow. So holy crap, who pissed in your Cheerios today, Brandy? I'm sorry. I just want to get him back. Like, it's been 8 months. I just really miss him. You know, I just want to get him back and get him back to his parents and stuff. So let's try to focus today, guys. All right. All right. Matt said. Yeah, don't need to be so serious, Brandy. Stefan said. Y'all are funny. Sarah said. What? Matt looked at her. What are you talking about? How are we funny? Just hearing you guys bicker back and forth. Like you guys are definitely like a best friend circle. Like I can totally tell. Oh yeah, you're right. Brandy said. You know, we've all known each other for a long time, and we've all been through a lot the past 8 months. So it's right in here, guys. She said as they got down to the end of the stairs and flipped the light on in the basement. All right, so where did he disappear at? Sarah said. Oh, it's right over here. Brandy said, as she walked over to the side of the room where she'd found Jared's phone and his flashlights. Like literally right here. Brady said, doing a circle motion with her hand. Oh, okay. So like right here, is it like he disappeared right here? Nope. It's like, well, Brady said this is where I found his phone and his flashlight. So I'm assuming it was like pretty much within a couple feet of this area because basically he dropped his stuff when whatever it was attacked him and pulled him through this opening or whatever. All right, Sarah said. All right, cool. So can you guys step back and give me some room? She pulled out a little canister on her. She pulled out a bottle of water, took the lid off the canister, took the lid off the water, filled the canister up. Looked like a little bowl with a lid. She took the lid off of it or whatever, kind of kneeled down on her knees or whatever, put the bowl on the ground and filled it with water, added some herbs, and stirred the water with her finger and basically was like staring very intently in the bowl. She said. What's mean? Stefan said. Shh. Brandy said, looking over at Stefan. Sorry, Stefan said. Alright, so yeah, okay, so she pulled out, Sarah reached in her bag and pulled out a stick of sage, and lit the end of it, and basically started waving that in the air a little bit to get the smoke up in the air. What are you doing? Brandy said, looking at her. So that's because this mixture in here, it helps kind of like, if there is any openings, it helps to kind of like open it wider a little bit. Like we still can't see it, but from what I'm about to do, we'll be able to tell kind of roughly where it's at. And so let's like watch the smoke, because are there any open windows down here that you guys know of? Sarah said, no, I don't think so. But okay, then do you feel that? Sarah said, put your hand up in the air. Like what? And Stefan raised his hand up in the air. It's like, hold on, wait a minute. Like I think I feel a draft. That's impossible, Brandy said. Put your hand up in the air. Wait, you're right. Yeah, I there's a little bit of a draft down here too, but there's this whole area is sealed up. Where would a draft be coming from? All right, well, hold on. Let's. I want to try something. Sarah lit the end of the sage stick a little bit more to get it smoking a little bit more. Waving it around in the air, she goes, all right, let's watch the smoke, because this could tell us like where this opening is, because we're just gonna watch where the smoke's going through. And also, it's something that if we can figure out where it is, I can bring even more of the herbs tomorrow, and we basically create something that when it goes through the opening, we then start calling to him, and that'll lead him from wherever he's at over to the opening, and we can then try to pull him through. But he basically has to make his way to it first, and then once he starts to come through and we can see him, then we can pull him through. Sarah said, oh, okay, so yeah, so we'll just watch the smoke. So yeah, Sarah said as she waved the sage around in the air. They all looked at the smoke and watched it as it drifted over to one corner of the room. It kind of looked like it led to, like, it almost looked like it funneled. That looks really, really funky, Stefan said. Yeah, it does, Matt said. Like, look at it, almost like it goes from like a big cloud of smoke to a itty bitty little, like it's almost like it's going through something. So they kind of move their way over to that. It's like Sarah, like keep wafting that, or waving that sage around. Let's watch this. Let's watch the smoke and see if we can get over here or get closer or whatever. And so they walked over to that side of the room, and they noticed it looked like the smoke was just disappearing in one section of the room. And, oh man, look at that! Like it's like right over here, like it just kind of disappears, almost like it's going through an opening over here. But like, and they waved their hand kind of through the smoke, right where it looked like it was going through something, and they just waved their hand through it. They didn't feel anything. It's like, we don't feel anything over here, but the smoke just disappears right here. Okay. Well, guys, Sarah said as she put out the she stuffed out the sage, stuffed everything back in her bag, put the lid back on her bowl, and put everything in the bag and stood up. She goes, I think I know what we gotta do. Like I think we know where the opening is, and we just need to get him back to that so we can pull him through, and then we need to close it. Oh, sounds good. So they were all getting ready to stand up. All of a sudden, from that, right where they were standing, right where the smoke was disappearing, they heard, what the hell was that? Stefan said. Oh, fuck. No, Brandy said. Guys, we gotta go. No, what the heck's going on, Sarah said. Sarah said, there's no time. Let's everybody outside now. Hurry up. As the door closed behind them, they got out by the car and they're panting. Holy crap, Brady said. What the hell's going on? Guys, you remember we heard a growl, right? Yeah, Matt said. You're not telling me that was it, Stefan said. What are you talking about, Sarah said. What'd you guys get me into? Sarah, like, there's something that can't, like, that's when Jared disappeared, something rushed at him. Something literally rushed at him, and that's how he went missing. I think it grabbed him and pulled him through or whatever. And anytime the last time I saw Jared in a dream, we were taught, like, literally, we actually, like, we found each other. Like, we were right next to each other talking for a minute or two, and then there was a loud growl, and he basically smacked me to try to wake me up. And, I mean, it took a few smacks, but then I woke up back at the cafeteria table again. But there was something there. Like, he said when I was talking to him that he's been attacked by it quite a few times, but he keeps running from it. And so far, like, as long as he keeps running and hiding, like, he's managed to stay away from it. It hasn't gotten him. But I think that's what, like, I don't know, maybe it's guarding the opening or something. But man, that really freaks me out now. Now there's what if we're trying to call him to that opening? Maybe we lead him right to it. Sarah's like, well, I don't think we really have a choice. Like, I think we need to try. Stefan's like, oh man, this really sucks. Like, I really don't want to do this, guys. But I don't want Matt. I don't want Jared to be in there. I don't want to be stuck in there. So I guess we're gonna have to do it. Matt's like, yeah, guys. Like, that's I mean, I'm terrified to deal with whatever that is that we just heard down there, but if we could get Jared back here, we could close it. Maybe we could keep it from having anything to do with our world. Sarah's like, all right, guys. Well, that's kind of the plan. So let's like, when do you want to meet up here again? Randy's like, well, let's plan for next Saturday. Let's come back here same time next week, so that way we can kind of try to mentally plan. And if I dream, like if I talk to Jared in my dream again, I'll tell him what the plan is. Maybe he can remember, like, where, roughly where he's at, like where he came through at. Maybe he can get closer, so it might be easier for us to get, to draw him closer. Everybody's like, yeah, sounds good. Yeah, definitely, Sarah said. Oh man, yeah, I think let's do it, Stefan said. All right, so you guys be careful, and I'll see you at school, and then we'll definitely. I'm gonna talk to the owner of the restaurant, and we're gonna make a plan for next week. All right, Brandy, sounds good. Everybody said. During the week, they would meet up at lunch and chat about what the plan was, what they were gonna do, and Sarah, even though she wasn't a student at the school, she make a visit to their school and hang out with them on their lunch break, talking about the plan, and then when everybody would get done with lunch, be ready to head back to class, they would go their separate ways, and Sarah would leave. They had all little diagrams written out, little plan written out, words they were gonna say. As Brandy was looking at it, she looks over at Sarah. She's like, "Does this shit actually work?" What do you mean this shit? You mean like the little spell or whatever, this chant, going on right here? That, yeah, I mean, because I'll admit I don't believe in any of this, but I didn't believe that, that something from another world could like take Jared away either. So I guess, hey, I'm not gonna second guess anything from now on. Sarah laughs. See, like, yeah, it doesn't matter if like what you believe, if you're like Christian, if you're Wiccan, if you're whatever. It's like, no matter what, there's all sorts of forces in this world that none of us really truly understand. And I mean, there's a lot of good, but there's a lot of bad, and like, sadly, I think we deal with the bad stuff a lot more often than we deal with the good stuff. Because the good stuff aren't out here to hurt us, but the bad stuff is. And sadly, what you guys came across in the diner, definitely is not a friendly entity or whatever it is. But yeah, this stuff, as you call it, this stuff, yeah, usually works. It really depends, because we have to get in touch with Jared from our side, and he has to make his way to that portal or that opening, and he should be able to. I mean, I'm hoping he can see it, but he should at least be able to get to it, based on like hearing our voices or whatever. And then if he gets to it, we could try to pull him back through. And then there's a little mixture of herbs and a couple of words that I could say that should close it up and trap whatever that other entity is in there. All right, sounds good. All right, so we will. I talked to the owners of the restaurant, but I talked to the owners of the restaurant, and they said to be safe and just let us know, if there's anything, or let them know if there's anything that we need, and basically just I've got the keys, I've got the code for Saturday, just like always, and so yeah, that's pretty much it. Brady said, "All right, cool, got that sounds great." Stefan said, "All right, so Brady, just be careful. I know you dream about Jared and stuff, so let's be careful. Don't confront anything in your dream, but we'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll go from there." So they all got up from the table, went off in different directions to go to class for the rest of the night, or the rest of the afternoon. And then that afternoon, Saturday, everybody was pulling in, and they're all driving in their own cars and parking out in front of the restaurant. Brandy had already been there for an hour, just kind of like trying to calm herself down. Just breathe, she told herself. Just take a deep breath. Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna get him back. Everything's gonna be fine. All of a sudden, she's jerked out of her trance state when she hears. Whoa! She jerks and looks at the window. Realizes that Matt's banging on her door. "Hey," she said as she opened the door. "Sorry, I was literally just trying to do some calming breathing exercises." "That's fine," Matt said. "That's fine, So you cool? Are you ready to do this?" Yeah, let's go, Brady said. Hey guys, Sarah said. Let's go ahead and let's get this out. Let's get this over with, because I don't think any of us want to be in that basement any more than we have to be right now. Yeah, I think you're right. Pretty much all of us. I think we're. I don't think any of us want to be there too long either. So Brady opened the door and let them all in. And all right, guys, back to the amazing basement that we all love so much. Said as she opened the door and started to go down the basement steps. Got to the bottom of the stairs, turned the light on in the basement, and they went over to that side of the room where the opening they thought was in that area. Sarah came down there and kneeled down, got her little bowl out, took the lid off, added more herbs to it, stirred it around with her finger, took a deep breath and sighed slightly. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Takes out a stick of sage, lights the end, getting a nice thick trail of smoke behind it. Stands up, starts waving the stick in the air. All right, guys, now let's watch the smoke. It's gonna go back here again, and yeah, we just have to watch for it to go through what we assume is the portal, and then once we start seeing that go through, because that'll actually help open it up a little bit wider, he should be able to hear us. But then when he gets close to where that portal is, he should be able to see the smoke coming through too. Hey, look, there it goes. It's disappearing, Brady said. All right, cool. I'd like to call to your friend. Hey, Jared! Jared! Stapleton. Jared! Brady hollered out. Hey, Jared! Jared, can you hear us? Matt said. That's right, guys. Keep calling him. Just keep yelling. Like, it might take a minute, but when he hears you, like, he'll start. He'll take a minute, but he'll hear you. Sarah said. Jared! Hey, bro! Bro, can you hear us? Stefan yelled. Jared! Brady! They could hear in the background. Holy crap! Did you hear that? Brady said. Holy shit, man! I heard that. That was Jared. Stefan said. I can tell that voice from anywhere. Jared! Brady yelled. Jared, follow our voices. Come to where we are. Come to our voice. What? In the background, you can hear Jared yelling. Come to our voice. Come here, Jared. Okay, I'm coming. Jared. Jared. Hey, Jared, come on, bro, find us. I'm coming. Keep yelling, guys. Keep yelling. Sarah said as she relit the sage stick and continued to wave the smoke towards the opening. All of a sudden, we can hear, holy crap, guys, I'm seeing smoke out here. Yes, Jared, yes, Brady said. Come to the smoke. We're on the other side. What? Really? Brady, is that you? Yes, it's me, Jared. Come to the smoke. We're trying to get you out. All right, I'm right here. Like, if you guys are on the other side of that, why does it still sound like you guys are like miles away? I don't know, Jared. I don't know. Like, I don't know how this thing works. Try to put your hand where you see the smoke. Try to put your try to touch the smoke, like where it's coming out of. All right, just a second. All of a sudden, Stefan jumps up. Holy shit! You guys see that? Is that? I think it's his hand. They all looked like, what? They could see that there was looked like a hand materializing just in midair, right in the middle of the smoke. Jared, is that you? Is that your hand, Jared? Yeah, I'm reaching through the smoke like you told me. Hurry, grab my hand. They all stopped. What the hell was that? Matt said. Was that a fucking growl? Stefan said. Hey guys, it's back. Hurry, pull me through. It's charging at me right now. Hurry up, guys. Hurry, grab his hand, Stefan said. Brady and Stefan grabbed a hold of Jared's hand and started pulling. they, after pulling for what felt like forever, even though it only been a couple minutes, all of a sudden they heard a whoosh and ended up in a big pile on the floor. All the friends in one pile on the floor, and they look around, and all of a sudden they look and realize Jared's laying beside him. Jared's panting. Holy crap! Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. In the background, Sarah's like, guys, we're not done yet. We need to close this. Oh, fuck. They all stand up like, what do we do? What do we do? Past the area where the smoke was, you can hear. Holy crap! That sounds like it's getting closer. How do we close this? How do we close this? Jared said. Hold on, here's what we do. Here, Jared, since you were the one trapped, I need you to hold this bowl of this mixture, I hold this bowl of the stuff I mixed up. I'm gonna wave the smoke right in front of where he came through, and I need you to, when I say now, I need you to throw the contents of that bowl literally right at the opening where he came through. Jared's like, oh, okay. You just want me to throw the water at it? She's like, yeah. Like, I'm gonna say a couple words, and then when I tell you, I need you to throw the water literally right where the smoke is, and this I'm hoping, if I'm right, this should close it. All right, let's do it, Jared said. All right, so here's the bowl. Now wait until I give you the signal. Sarah grabs her sage stick, lights even further as they continue to hear the on the other end. Hurry up, guys, hurry up, Brady said. Man, I don't want that thing to get back in here again. Sarah ran over to the opening where the smoke was disappearing and started waving the sage stick around, literally in one big circle right around where Jared was pulled back through. And the growling on the other side got really loud. Jared, now! Sarah said. He just all of a sudden flung the water mixture that was in the bowl right at where all the smoke was. All of a sudden, there's a bright flash and this small little explosion that sounded like a firecracker went off, and it sent such a flash and such a shockwave that everybody was taken off their feet and basically landed on their faces on the ground again. They all rolled over and sat up and looked at each other. And Brandy looks over at Jared, runs over to him and hugs him. Oh my God, I'm so glad finally got you back. Jared's like, is it over? They all looked over where the smoke was and where Jared had thrown the water, and the smoke in that area was completely gone. And they didn't see anything. Sarah's like, I think we did it. Like, I don't even feel anything down here. Like, I don't feel... Didn't this whole place feel kind of like creepy before? Like, didn't it feel like, no matter where you were in this building, that there was always like a presence? Yeah, kind of. Brandy said that, right, Jared? Yeah. I mean, oh man, I can't even think straight, guys. I'm just so happy to see you guys. Has it really been 8 months? Yeah, man. It's been a long time, Stefan said. But don't worry, we got you back. Everything's cool, man. Like, I just can't wait to bring you back to your parents, Matt said. All right, so Sarah, you really think that it's over? Like, like, yeah, I think so, Sarah said. Now, let's, I mean, we still have, one, did we record that at all? And Brandy looked over, I was like, yeah, I set my phone up on the other side. And I just hit record. I didn't know if we're gonna succeed, but I thought, well, it'd be nice to catch it on camera if we could. So, but yeah, I'm gonna check it or whatever. So they pulled out the phone or whatever, and then hit stop on the video. and scrolled back, rewound it a little bit to watch it. They totally on the video you could see where Jared comes back through the portal. They all gasped because it literally on the video looked like Jared just kind of appeared out of nowhere, and then all of them ended up on their faces. And then they could see after Jared threw the water where the smoke was after Sarah chanted a few words. They saw on the screen, they saw a big bright flash, and it was almost like all the smoke got sucked into the portal and the portal closed. They could see a little flash as it closed on the video, and like, holy crap, that's like crazy shit. Stefan said, "Wow, that's amazing." Matt said, "Like, so this is really it's really over. We really did it." He went over and put an arm around Jared, like, bro, I'm so glad this worked, because like I almost given up. Jared's like, you almost gave up. Like it felt over there. I thought it had been a couple days, and yet when hearing it had been 8 months, like man, I kind of when I was told that, I thought I was gonna forgive up, or not forgive. Thought I was gonna give up. I can't even talk straight, man. Matt laughed. Yeah, Jared, don't worry about it, man. You've been through a lot. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Brady said. They shut out the lights. They headed up. Brady put a note on the desk, letting Penelope know that they would be back to drop the keys off, and that she had more video footage for her. So the following day, Brady, Jared, Matt, and Stefan showed back up at the restaurant and met up with Penelope in the office. Hey guys, so good to see ya, Penelope said. Like, oh, Jared, holy crap, it's been so long. Like, I'm so glad you made it back. You and me both, Penelope. It's so good to see you. Like, how you been? Well, better than you, Penelope said. Ain't that the truth? Well, all right, so you guys had foot. You got, like, Brandy, you said you guys had a recording for me? Yeah, here. She hands her phone in his play. As she watches everything happen on the video, she's like, oh, wow. That is both amazing and terrifying, Penelope said. Yeah, but let me ask you, Penelope, like, in the last 24 hours, have you had anybody report anything weird? Like, do you guys feel anything weird? Or Penelope's like, come to think of it, actually, no. Like, almost every day we've had people report, like, they felt this, or they heard that, or somebody pushed them, or, stuff like that, but nothing. Like, this place feels actually, like, peaceful. So I guess, you guys probably, it's like, we helped you out by you guys being able to do investigations here, but it looks like you guys helped us out too. So thank you, Penelope said. Well, Jared said, he laughed a little bit. I'd say our pleasure, but, Penelope laughed. Yeah, I totally get that. Don't worry. I'm just glad you're back safe, Jared. I'm really happy to see you guys again. And, I know you guys probably wouldn't want to be back, but if just in case, and as a thank you, you guys are always welcome here. And in fact, she turns and opens up one of the drawers and grabs a little stack of little slips, and she starts handing them out. This is for a free meal for every one of you, free meal and free drink, and just as a thank you, and basically, like, just don't be a stranger, because, like, you guys come by and have dinner and let's catch up. Sounds great, Jared said. I'll never say no to free food, especially because I looks away. He's like, huh. Brady's like, what? It's like, oh, it's just weird that, like, I still look the same, but I never ate over there. Never ate, drank. I slept, but I never ate or drank, so that was kind of weird. But yeah, I didn't lose weight or anything. I just stayed how I am. Yeah, that is kind of weird, Matt said. Bro, like 8 months, you never ate or drank anything over there? Stefan said. No, seriously, Stefan. Like, no, I was never hungry, never thirsty, and there wasn't even anything over there to eat. I was in a forest in the middle of nowhere. I didn't see animals or anything, or no berries, no nothing. So it's like I just kind of wandered around, and I just randomly fall asleep in places and wake up. So that's kind of weird. Huh, all right. Well, anyway, guys, let's get going, Brady said. So Penelope, thank you so much. Yeah, we'll give you a call to set up a reservation for when we could all come and have dinner here and stuff. Yeah, sounds great, Penelope said. As they headed out, they all gave each other hugs, said their goodbyes, and took Jared back home. Knocked on Jared's door. Max opened the door. Hey, Brandy, what's up? He says as he scanned the group of people, and his eyes went on to Jared. Jared? Jared, is that you? Hey, Dad. Jared said, Honey! He called behind him. Honey, you're not going to believe this! Jared, oh my God! Run at him. Max ran at him and pulled him into a hug. Oh my God, son! Oh my God, how? Brandy just put his arm on Max's shoulder. We'll tell you about it later. Just, we got it back. Oh my God, thank you. What is it? His mom said as she came around. What? Honey, Jared's back. Oh my God, my baby! She said as she ran over and hugged both Max and Jared at the same time. Oh my God, both crying, sobbing. Brandy, I knew you'd get him back. I knew it. Thank you. You're welcome. We're just happy to get him back. You guys have a good night. We're gonna let you guys we'll let you guys catch up, and we're gonna talk to you later, okay? All right. We'll see you later. Jared said as he continued getting hugged by his parents. All right, let's go inside. Max said. So Jared and his parents went inside, and Brandy and all the rest of their friends left. Later on that week, they set up a reservation for them to all meet up for dinner at the restaurant. And while having dinner and enjoying great food and company, and Jared's parents are there, Penelope would come over and pull up a chair to sit and talk with them for a little bit, reminiscing about all the stuff that they'd been through during their investigation over the past 8 months. And talking about how the restaurant actually didn't feel like there's nothing weird happening anymore after they closed the opening down in the basement. From here on out, all they could do was make all the plans that they weren't able to make for the past 8 months. From here on out, they would spend as much time with each other as possible, and never again take any time together for granted. For they would always think about how the fact that you never know what tomorrow will bring. You never know what day it would be the last day you got to get to hang out with somebody. They had thought when it all happened that they would never see Jared again, but here as they sit here in the restaurant hanging out with each other, enjoying good food, enjoying good drinks, enjoying good company, they realize that it's always good to not give up. It's always important to keep that fight within and to get back to those you love. The end. Welcome back, guys. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the complete Fight Within parts 1, 2, and the conclusion. That is definitely the longest story I've done so far, with all the parts put together, of course. But yeah, it's funny too. Actually, lately I've been, whenever I've been doing, especially the story episodes, but I've done it with the Real Talk episodes as well, where I get it done, I get everything edited, ready, and I even upload it, schedule it for when it's going to post. But then, because I have it saved on my phone, especially if I do it enough, in advance, like at least a day or so, then I might bring it up and go ahead while I'm out here working, go ahead and bring it up and play it. Listen to the full episode to make sure that everything sounds good, so that way I can get it corrected if I need to before it posts, before it goes live. So that way you guys aren't listening to an episode or story that has some stuff that needs to be corrected or whatever. It's happened before where I got like halfway through an episode and I realized, oh crap, I screwed that up. So I was like, whoops. So thankfully, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Actually, is I'd already put the full episode together and had everything good, and then of course I realized when I and it wasn't even during the story part, it was actually the current part, like right now with the closing, closing out the episode and whatnot. I was listening to it going, oh crap, I messed up Arthur. So, but anyway, I definitely had fun with that closing out that story. Now that everything is mostly freestyle story episodes without me having time to sit down and actually write, but I kind of enjoy doing them that way a little bit anyway, because if I write the story and then I'm reading the story for you guys, when you're reading it, you may not actually like put as much feeling into it when you're reading it out loud or whatever, versus like if you're coming up with the story, you can randomly come up with sound effects, and you can come up with what the characters that you're including in the story can sound like. Like, for instance, like Stefan in that, like, that sounds great. Let's do it. I was like, or, it's kind of an experiment, as far as like, try to have, like, when I'm freestyling it and try to do, like, add some emotion in there, like when like a character's upset or something, like when Jared was trying to talk to Brandy in his dream, and then Brandy was basically disappearing off in the distance, and of course, Jared, cried for a minute, until trying to tell himself to get it back, pull himself back together and whatnot, So it's all a learning curve for me. This is all new, I thought I was going to be doing stories strictly by writing them, but then of course, because I was having trouble finding time to actually be able to sit down and work on the writing the story, because of everything else I'm currently doing. Obviously I can't sit down and write when I'm out here working, and when I'm home and I'm off, depending on what I'm doing, most of the time I might be working on the online business, the legacy business. So I might get on the computer and do a little bit with that, but otherwise I'm some days I just don't have the time to do much. But yeah, so I had fun with it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And so in closing, if anybody has any suggestions for a topic to cover for Real Talk Tuesdays, or if you have story ideas, drop me a line at blogshowpodcast@gmail.com. Let me know what or if you want to just let me know what you think, send me an email, But anybody that wants to support the show, go to blogshowpodcast.com/support, and you'll have options there for a one-time monetary donation to help out the show, or a monthly contribution for as little as $1 per month. So makes it pretty easy and stuff. But the most simple way of supporting the show would be to like and follow, share with your friends. That helps the podcast to continue growing and stuff. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But on that note, the side biz I've been talking to you guys about a little bit, throwing a little bit of info in at the end of every episode. Basically, it's one of those things. It's got 4 digital products in the e-learning space. That it's a step-by-step blueprint that basically walks anybody, whether you're experienced at making money online or whether you're completely newbie. If you're not technologically inclined, then this is definitely for you. It's a step-by-step system, walks you through how to set everything up, walks you through what to do, how to start learning basically teaching you how to start going about actually earning online and building a presence. So pretty awesome stuff. But the information is free as far as like finding out what it's all about. Go to blogitshow.com/freedom. It'll direct you to a page where you basically put your name and email in there. That'll direct you to another page that will have a short video. It's like not that long, a couple minutes, like 5 to 10 minutes long. Maybe a little bit longer than that. I know one of the videos is like 14 minutes, but I'm pretty sure the video you come to on the next page is like 5 minutes. So, but it gives you a little rundown as far as like what these, what is all involved with these programs in this community and stuff. It's pretty awesome. Like when I first started my first week, I literally made 1,000 my first week. So that was pretty cool. I was like, that took me by surprise because I'd done multiple businesses in the past and never really earned anything. So this is kind of, just following the step-by-step training and the blueprint and all that stuff. And literally my first couple of days, I was like, I woke up to sales and stuff. It's all automated too. So it's like you're not having to like reach out, try to sell people on it. So like once they put in their information in there, the system goes to work. You get automated emails that are already set up for you. So you go to blogitshow.com/freedom, put your name and email in there. Then when you get an email from me, if you have any questions, reply back to the email and I will get back to you. But otherwise, it'll direct you all the way through the system and all that fun stuff. So look forward to working with you. But on that note, guys, I hope everybody enjoyed the story this week. I apologize about it being so long, but that's why, when I did the conclusion by itself, that's why I joked in there saying that, grab some popcorn, just chill out, whatever, and, it's like a little over 2 hours long, so 2.5 hours long roughly for this whole episode. But hey, I don't foresee having another long episode like that, so but we'll see what happens. But anyway, guys, on that note, you know what I always say: keep being positive, keep believing, keep pushing forward. Believe you can, believe you will, and you're already halfway there. And then you just have to go out there and do it. On that note, guys, you can tell I'm a little tired today with having only had one day off. I came in and worked on one of my days off. Then I had yesterday off. It was like, I was tired, but it's all good, back at it for my 5 days. At least that extra day means extra miles, means extra money this week. So hey, you know what I'm always saying, do what you gotta do so we can do what we want to do. So, but check it out, blogitshow.com/freedom. See what you think. Email me with any questions. But I look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday for the next Real Talk Tuesday. Have a good one.